brain folks to help them run their businesses. And if you are an extremely right brain person, you may want to consider that in the future, like really assessing yourself and going, I'm not the best at business. My left brain doesn't really work. Maybe I should help outsource this. And we'll talk a lot about outsourcing when we get into that section of the course. But as you grow in business, you start to assess what am I better served by outsourcing something? And we'll discuss when and why you should say that to yourself and when you should say yes. But each system usually has several subsystems, okay? For example, booking, to book a client. There's a system for how you enter them into your file management system. So like I use Studio Cloud. You want to do name, address, phone number, contact information. I mean, that's just a basic system of where you put somebody into your database, right? But then there's also the system in which you have a conversation with them and get them to book. I have a very strategic script in my head of how I get somebody to book on the phone. Okay, so that's a booking system within the booking systems. Call it a conversation system, whatever you want. Data input system, subsystem. So there's lots of subsystems within the major systems. So you can see why this course is going to take 5 weeks, right? It's packed full of subsystems within the major areas, okay? Oh my gosh, this is overwhelming, right? Some people go, oh yeah. That's why we're taking it in small chunks, day to day. Okay, we're not going to do this all at once, but we have to be careful that we don't let George eat us alive, okay? We have to be careful that we don't let the low self-worth part of us go, I can't do this, and give up. If there's anything, any message that I want you to get in these next 5 weeks, it's persistence is everything. Persistence is everything. I tell you, 90% of the reason I'm successful in my business is because I just can't take no for an answer. Simple as that. If I run into a problem, there's always a circumvent. There's always a way around it. There's door closes, there's a window open. I know it and I will find it. Try to think about adopting that attitude in your business. The temptation sometimes just to go, oh, I just want to lay in bed all morning and not worry about this, is huge. And it takes a lot of self-discipline to be an entrepreneur. Okay? All right. Personal story. I've been in business since 2006. I was in Portland initially. My husband proposed, and he was relocated to Bend, Oregon 6 years ago. And so when I opened in Bend, I am the type of person who stands on the cliff and goes, oh, pretty, I'll jump and make a plane on the way down. That's my MO. Some people need to build the plane on the cliff to make sure they're going to land safely. I just jump and know I'm going to build a plane on the way down. That's kind of I'm a risk taker. Calculated. I make sure I have the materials with me when I jump off the cliff, but, you know, I do build the plane on the way down. So I leased the current studio space that I'm in. It was way too big for me at the time. It was way too expensive for me at the time. Couldn't afford it, okay? We completely gutted the thing. You're going to see tons of images. We have sections in this course where we're entirely in my studio on location. So you're going to see it all. And I'm going to show you pictures of what it looked like before we tackled it, okay? But we spent, I spent all my savings, basically about $10,000 I put into the remodel of this place. My husband and I did it for 2 months straight. So when I opened, right before Christmas, dumb move, I had $250 in my bank account, okay? My grand opening Chamber of Commerce ribbon cutting was in February 4th. And in the beginning of February, I had $250 in my bank account. I had $1,000 a month rent. I had no clients, and I could not pay my rent in February. Okay? The one hope and prayer I had was that I had a display to put up. I had joined my Chamber of Commerce, and I met a woman named Lynn Achita at the party, and she was the marketing director for the Humane Society. And I had visited the Humane Society over Christmas, and the walls were empty. So I asked her to put up a display, and I'll tell you the whole marketing story when we get into the marketing at the time, but she agreed. So we did a huge event where we photographed all the major donors to the Humane Society and their pets, okay? And so this was some of the images. These are my two doggies. This is Winston. He was my fur baby. He passed away about 2 years ago, but he was my little fur baby. So we did a bunch of images of all the dogs and their owners, and the display was put up at the Humane Society. Okay, so we just filled the walls with pet portraits. This was 6 years ago. Okay, I photographed in January. I had to be in imaging to speak. Okay. I went to imaging, and the rest of January, we photographed 36 dogs, 6 cats, 2 lizards, a guinea pig. Is that it? I think that was it. And a guinea pig, okay? I produced this display in less than a week, okay? You can see where all my money went and why I only had $250 in my bank account. And we did, at my Chamber of Commerce ribbon cutting that evening, we invited all the donors, all their friends. I had 250 people in my little 1,500 square foot bottom floor, okay? And we brought each portrait down with a sheet over the top of it. We told the story of the donor, what they'd done for the Humane Society, and then we yanked the sheet off, or they got to yank the sheet off and see their portrait. Tears everywhere, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was wonderful. But remember, I had $250 in my bank account when I'm throwing this huge party and putting up this display. That hope and a prayer was answered. By the way, don't do this. This is a really bad idea. I got lucky. But we had, in all those animals, that was 24 sessions, I believe. The next 3 weeks, I had the ordering appointments for that. And I was smart enough to know I needed to do IPS, or in-person sales. We made $40,000 off 22 sessions. Maybe 24. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. And it basically launched my business. Huge risk. Don't do this. This is like scary monsters, scary. But I became the pet specialist in Bend. All of a sudden, I was launched into, and I got all these referrals from the Humane Society. I mean, that was it. It literally launched my business. Then, 3 years later, I decided that it was all about babies, okay? So I've really only been niched in newborns for about 3 years, if that. Maybe a little bit longer, 3.5 or so. I decided to completely wipe everything off my website except for newborns, because I love newborns so much. I was having a baby on my own, et cetera, et cetera. Things change in your life, your style changes, et cetera. My business, literally, when I niched, doubled almost overnight. And we're going to talk about why it did that and what the niche did for that and what the marketing efforts were that contributed to that. But literally, the business doubled. So this is my life right now, or at the time. I had clients, I was marketing, I had displays to take care of, sessions to do, editing, ordering, events to put on, workshops to do, travel to conventions and events, networking, promos, speaking. I was insane. Stupid crazy. Stupid crazy. Like, what are you thinking? Well, who cares? This is who cares. My boy and my husband. Really. If I was going to make it, I had to figure out a way to stop the insanity. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Who said that quote? I forget. Anyway, but it's a great quote. Huh?
Einstein.
Einstein. Is it Einstein? Yeah, he's absolutely right. So, systems. It had to run on its own. Okay? I had to be able to walk away from it and go, bye business, have fun running without me. Okay? A tall order, especially in an industry where we're the artist. The clients want me. They want me to shoot the picture. How do I let go of a business when I'm the one who is the business? These are questions that are not easy to answer. But we're going to do it over the next 5 weeks, okay? So I want to brag a little bit about my studio manager, Belinda. She has spent the last 4 weeks making a 107-page document for you when you buy the class is absolutely free. It is 26 cheat sheets, checklists, and assignments that will get you through this course. But that will help you make a plan that's actionable and written down so you can see it visually. We're visual people as photographers, so we need that, okay? So basically what had to happen is I had to grow a giant pumpkin. You're all like, what is she talking about? Did you know that there is a cult of people, I call it a cult for lack of a better word, who are obsessed with growing huge prize-winning pumpkins? I mean, this is like a whole world. You know, I thought the cloth diapering world when I had a baby was like it. The pumpkin world is huge. I mean, there is an art to growing a prize-winning ginormous pumpkin. I'm sure you've seen pictures of them where like world record holders have these huge pumpkins that are like lopsided because they're so big. Michael Milakowitz has a wonderful book, and I'm going to use his analogy here. So if you want to read this, I highly suggest it. He's a really funny writer, too, which makes it a good read. It's called The Pumpkin Plan, a simple strategy to grow a remarkable business in any field. And boy, is he helping me. So this is what pumpkin growers do. Okay, so bear with me. Hold on for a second. Bear with me. First of all, they plant a prize-winning seed. Okay, duh. Then they water it. Duh. Okay. Then they slash the diseased gourds. Okay. They weed like crazy. Right? Weed, 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 weed. They identify the prize pumpkin and remove the others, even if they're healthy. They nurture that big one like it's their baby. Okay? And then they watch it grow by the minute. I'm sure you're all asking me right now, like, Julia, how on earth is this even relevant? Okay? Like I said, bear with me. First of all, plant the prize-winning seed. Identify your greatest strength. Do you guys know what an AOI is? An area of innovation in business. There are only three. Quality, price, convenience. No business can be all three. No business can be two. You have to pick one. Are you going to innovate on your business based on high quality, price, or convenience, speed? Are you going to be cheap, high quality, or fast? It's pretty much what that comes down to. Let's look at a couple businesses. McDonald's. What is it? Cheap, high quality, or fast? You'd think it might be two, right? Cheap and fast? No. It's fast only. $8 for a meal when I could go feed my family for that by buying groceries at the grocery store? I mean, really? If you think about it, based on their cost, the markup at McDonald's is ridiculous. McDonald's is not cheap. They're fast. I can go through a drive-thru in under 2 minutes, get a meal, and be on my way. Not that I would. Anyway, I'm not a McDonald's person. I'm just using it as an example. I'm on a diet. I lost 14 pounds. I don't eat at McDonald's. So what I'm saying is that you have to be just one. There are companies. Walmart is cheap, right? Walmart competes on price, the low price leader, right? As photographers, those of you who are worried about your competition in the shoot and burner down the street, you're worrying about someone who has a completely different area of innovation than you. Consumers do not purchase. They purchase based on partly area of innovation. Okay, so let's say, for example, I shop at Safeway, my neighborhood Safeway. Is it the cheapest in town? No. Food for Less and Grocery Outlet is way cheaper down the street. But you know what? I can find everything I need. It's stocked all the time. The aisles are nice and wide, so like 2 to 3 carts can get by, and I'm not like running into people. And the checkout lines are pleasant, and the people are nice. And it's clean. I want a clean grocery store. Call me weird. I don't know. But that's why I shop at Safeway. I shop at Safeway for quality. not for convenience or price. The same thing would go true for like a high-end Whole Foods or something like that. You don't go to Whole Foods because it's cheap, right? You go there because they have high-quality ingredients that you need. And there are consumers out there who shop at Whole Foods every day. So do you see what I'm saying? Areas of innovation, you have to identify your strength, where you're going to innovate, and that thing you love to do, photography, right? That's our strength. And what are we good at in photography? Each one of you has a skill. Is it babies? Is it outdoor? Is it natural light? Is it studio light? What is it that you are passionate about that makes your heart sing to the Lord above? Okay? When you find that, here's what happens. You water it. Sell, 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 sell. You'll do anything and everything. Here's a client, great, give me money. Anyway, you just hustle. Especially when you're starting out. You'll take anything, right? Headshot? Sure, no problem. Come on in. Quick and easy, $200. Right? You will take anything. Sell, 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 sell. But as you grow, you start to go, I'm not sure if I want that headshot anymore. It's kind of a waste of my time when I could be doing a $1,000 session on such and such. I should leave that open for somebody who's really going to pay, right? So as you grow, you need to fire your small-time rotten clients, the diseased gourds, okay? The ones who call you up and go, we just want a disc for $100. Get you out of my garden, okay? They are infectious. They will ruin your big pumpkin. Get them out of here, okay? Well, then there's the weeds, right? Distractions. I'm specializing in newborns. Oh, but seniors are so fun. Okay, we all do it. You're laughing because you do it. It's just like, I did it yesterday. But those distractions, right? Always keep your mind on the big pumpkin, the one that's going to build your business strong. If that happens to be seniors, awesome, that's great. But then if you're doing seniors, you don't want to let other distractions get you off kilter. Or a new business opportunity, like your this is classic. Like you're doing family portraits, you join your Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce starts asking you if you'll do headshots for all the chamber members and all this kind of an extra side project, right? There's a point in your business when you need to say no. Because what does that do? It steals time, energy, and efficiency away from the big pumpkin. Because if you take that time for the big pumpkin, you're going to be marketing, you're going to be improving systems, you're going to be doing things for your business that over the long haul are going to be much better for it than taking that Chamber of Commerce project. Does that make sense? It's hard to do, especially when you're first starting out, because boy, that extra $1,000 sounds really nice right now, doesn't it? Yeah. But if you plan and you have systems for everything, you won't necessarily worry about it so much because you won't need the cash that day, okay? So when you identify that large pumpkin, the one that's going to be your grand prize winner, you need to identify the area that you want to go into with passion, okay? There's a lot of photographers out there who shoot everything. And there is a time to niche and a time not to, okay? So some photographers who are in really, really teensy-beansy towns can't necessarily niche in newborns. There's not enough market for it, okay? So keep that in mind. I do say this with somewhat of a caveat. But what I'm really trying to do is get you to focus on the grand prize, the business you dream of, the one that's been in your heart since the beginning, and don't let distractions or diseased gourds take hold. You have to nurture it like a baby. It is your baby. You have to parent it, you have to nurture it, and you have to raise it. And you have to protect it like it's your child. So focus all your attention on your top clients, the dream client you have in your head. And I know that's hard. Trust me, there are many clients I want to fire too. And I do. But I have a select group of top clients who are my ideal client. And we're going to talk, I think it's in week 5, where we talk all about finding that ideal client and discussing who that person is and getting into their lives and knowing who they are so you can target them. Okay? Ultimately, you want a business that you serve and systemize to your top clients, because those clients are the ones making you the money. When you leave all the others behind, you watch your business grow by the minute, and it starts to balloon, because all of a sudden, you're bringing in already qualified people from those other really great clients. We're going to talk about the marketing cycle and the booking cycle and how it can feed itself. Once you start getting a good stream of clients in, then you can let it feed itself to only bring in those top pre-qualified clients. If this is systemized, eventually, you just kind of have to watch it do its thing, which is really cool. Like once it starts rolling on its own and the phone starts ringing, like without you having to do a lot of work, it's like, oh, this is really nice. Oh, hi, you want to book? Great, okay. I mean, it's almost like the dream scenario, right? Do you have to pay attention to your competition? Of course you do. Do you have to stay competitive in your market? Of course you do. But you will get to the point, if you systemize, where things will kind of just operate on its own. And you just kind of have to go, okay, not, okay? So how do you systemize all this? Right now, you guys are like, this is overwhelming. I can see it in your faces. You're like, oh my God. Trust me, we're going to do this step by step. I'm not going to leave you hanging. That's not going to happen, okay? I know it seems very overwhelming right now, but it won't be as we get through it. If we take it in chunks, you're going to see that it actually is pretty easy. It's not that hard. Let's look at the big picture, okay? In business, how many of you have ever read the E-Myth? Yeah, it's a great book. If you can, Michael Gerber, grab it. I'll show you the cover here in the end, because I do credit all this to him. There are 3 major roles in business: the entrepreneur, the manager, and the taskmaster. Okay? The entrepreneur is the overseer. Okay? This is the person at the helm. This is the person who has the 5-year picture of the business in his mind or her mind. They are very cognizant of the overall future plan of the business, and they have a plan and a concept on how to get there, right? Okay. The taskmaster. This is the to-do person. Okay, this is the one who maintains the day-to-day operations. They kind of oversee the day-to-day workings of the business. Okay, this is the organizers and the systems flow person. So we're going to be in this mode a lot during this course. We're going to bounce around to them all, but this is the area where we oversee systems to manage things on a day-to-day basis, right? Well, the taskmaster, this is the detail dude, okay? This is the one who actually gets all the systems done. On the phone, booking the client. This is the person who's in the trenches. Okay, day to day to day. They're in the trenches doing it all. You all are taskmasters. You all are managers. And you all are entrepreneurs, right? But which one are you really? Like, which one does your voice call to that you want to do every day? Do you like being in the trenches day to day doing everything? Do you like making sure everything's operating, kind of see it from afar? Or do you like being the visionary, the entrepreneur, the one who sees it 5 years down the road and has a plan to go there? You guys kind of all saying in your mind? You're kind of going in your mind going, I think I'm a taskmaster, I'm not sure. Each one is vital to success, but especially the entrepreneur. Okay? The entrepreneur is key. Why is that? Any ideas? Talk to me, guys. Yeah, let's get a microphone down here so we can have a little bit of discussion.
Well, it's kind of like you can't row a boat without a coxswain. Someone has to have a plan for the race, and metaphorically, I was a coxswain in college.
So you're an entrepreneur at heart. That's awesome.
But yeah, you got to have somebody to have a plan for everybody else to follow and to put into motion.
Yeah. Now, granted, you could survive without it, but it would be really hard. You just kind of get yourself in a ruffle, your panties in a ruffle kind of thing, and you'd be all over the place, but you'd probably get there, right? How many of you feel like that right now? Like your business is just kind of swimming, Like dog paddling, not true on full style street, going somewhere. Yeah. That means that you're in task manager and detail mode. Okay? You are not seeing the big picture and creating a plan for growth. Does that make sense? This course is asking you to fly up 40,000 feet above your business and look at it. And organize it and go, where can I take this so that it works? How can it work on its own without me needing to be in there killing myself? Okay? If you can't lead, you cannot succeed. It's really as simple as that. What I mean by leading is just, guys, I've only had employees for 3 years. Okay? And I've been doing this 10. I did it by myself for a long time, all on my own. So it's not about leading people per se. It's about leading the systems, the energy, the to-do, the overall plan. It's like guiding it in a direction and making it go where you want it to go, right? That's leading. It means leading people too. But most of you, how many of you actually have employees right now? Okay, so you have a couple with a few employees. Most of you are on your own, right? It's a tough road. But you need to be a visionary. You need to look at your business from 40,000 feet up and go, okay, where is this going? Where can I take it? And how am I going to get it there the easiest and fastest way? Instead of being, oh my God, I got to do this, I got to do that. You're so lost in the trenches that you can't see the birds for the bush. Is that what the phrase is? You can't see the forest for the trees? Yeah. It's exactly what happens. So what prevents you from leading? What would prevent you from leading? Any ideas? Yeah, Dawn.
You get so caught up in going to work in your business that you don't take time to work on your business.
Exactly. What about the other thing? The elephant in the room. You.
Self-doubt.
You. Yeah. You are in your way. Get out of your way. Really? Okay? Being a business owner means stepping back, going in. Stepping back, going in. Constantly. And we get so in it that we forget to step out of it. But if you can't think forward, you're going to be screwed from the beginning. How many of you have in your head a 5-year picture of your business? Raise your hand. Like a really solid, I plan to be doing this, I want to do this, and this is how I'm going to get there. Yeah, it's necessary. And that's what we're going to be doing as part of what the worksheets are all about, is you're going to be doing that throughout this course, is creating that 5-year big picture plan with real, actionable, attainable goals, okay, with a plan for doing them. With systems, when you create step-by-step systems in your business, you have time, energy, perspective, and a plan for your own growth. Do you see why being the entrepreneur is so important? Why do we go into business for ourselves? Why? Dawn, you have the microphone. Why did you go into business for yourself instead of working for the corporate world? I don't know. Hot seat.
On the spot, I'm on the
Hot
spot.
seat. We're going to have a lot of hot seats in this
to have freedoms, to give myself the freedom to control my time and my schedule and be able to work when I wanted to work and take time off when I wanted to.
Do you?
To some degree. To some degree.
Yeah, to some degree.
Yeah.
A lot of you went into business for that same reason, right? Control your destiny, right? Are you controlling your destiny, or is your business controlling it? Your business is controlling it, isn't it? It sucks, doesn't it? You just want to go, oh my gosh, what did I do? Okay? But there is a way out. Systems keep your sanity. You maximize your time. You become very consistent. You are reliable. And what does that mean? Your clients clients are happy. And they refer you. And you grow. Big old pumpkin. Big old prize-winning, glorious, orange, wrinkly, awesome pumpkin. Okay? Might not taste very good, but it'll be big and pretty, right? So what is a system? A system is a procedure, process, method, or course of action designed to achieve a specific result. Its component parts and interrelated steps work together for the good of the whole. Creating effective business systems is the only way to attain results that are consistent, measurable, and ultimately benefit customers. Systems and processes are the essential building blocks of your company, whether you realize it or not. Every single successful business in the world has systems. Why don't you? Okay? They take waste and inefficiency away. They are the solution to weak sales, low profit margins, customer dissatisfaction, poor performance, inadequate cash flow, employee turnover, and basically daily frustration. They really are. They eliminate generalized solutions. A different solution for the same problem every time. Do you guys have that? Or you've got a problem in your business, say, for example, name me a problem. On the spot. Talk about on the spot. A problem in your business. Who's having a problem in their business right now? I know I'm putting you all on the spot here. Okay. Say, for example, your camera stops working, right? Okay, you're in the middle of a shoot, camera stops working. What do? The first time, you're going to be like taking the card out, changing the batteries, turning it off and on, trying to get it to work, taking the lens off and putting it back on to see what works, right? If you have a good system, you go in the back room, grab your backup that's already prepared and keep shooting. Time and efficiency, bam. Okay? You have a solution to a problem before it happens. Seat of the pants operation. A customer is unhappy. What do? Do you have a system for dealing with that? Or you just hope and pray it never happens? Yeah, she's like, yeah, I just hope and pray it never happens, okay? Taking liberties with decisions. For example, if you do have employees, do you have a set method, the way your brand, font, style, kerning, everything are supposed to be displayed on all your graphic design materials? Do you have a book for that so that an employee can look at it and go, okay, I'm supposed to do this font at this typeface, blah, 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 blah. I mean, you know, they can read a manual and go, oh, that's how it's supposed to look. You better have that. That's your brand. That's your baby. You don't want employees, or that matter for yourself, taking liberty with any important decisions in your business, right? So there has to be a system for that. Really, good systems eliminate anything left to chance. They can be step by step, I promise you, and it seems like overwhelming right now. But the major systems in your studio are these, and in the next segment, we're going to go over each one of these and what it means to create a good system out of it. That's a lot. Who cares? You can detach from your business. You're reliable to your customers. Your stress lowers. Consistency breeds confidence. You know you're going to get the same result every time, and that makes George go jump off a cliff with no airplane. Your income becomes predictable, and ultimately your business grows, and you have more time. Because the system, as Michael Gerber said, runs the business. He said, organize around business functions, not people. Build systems with each business function. Let systems run the business and people run the systems. People come and go, but the systems remain the same. Good advice, right? So I'm going to teach you how to make the systems so that the systems can run your business and you just run the system. instead of you running your business. You can work on it instead of in it. Okay, your first homework assignment. Are you ready? And we're going to take some questions after that. I want you to analyze your studio systems, okay? So all these areas: customer service, marketing, finance, sessions, editing, ordering, sales, booking, branding, workflow, organization, pricing, policies, products. Oh, I think I have booking in there twice, don't I? Yes. I do. Look at that. Bad system, bad. I just wanted to make it look all pretty and symmetrical. That's the only thing away. What systems are weak in your business? And you might be going, all of them? Okay, not all of them are horrible. Okay, so be good to yourself. Try to tell George to take a hike. Where do you drop the ball? Where do mistakes happen in your business? For me, it used to be in ordering. I used to forget the one measly 5x7 that they wanted, and I'd have to pay $12 at the lab to order that one single 5x7. Ugh, I hated that. I mean, it's only $12, but to me at the time it was huge. I was like, that's $12. That just totally ate into my cost of goods. Okay. Where do you drop the ball on things? Are your clients truly happy with you? Is your customer service really top notch? What's your biggest challenge in your business right now? And this is all on the homework sheet. So if you RSVP to the course, you can download the first week of assignments, and all of this stuff is on there, and it's really pretty. Belinda made it absolutely incredible to get it's worksheets, so you can actually write on the document, which is awesome. Hopefully, what I'm hoping is that it will become your Bible for creating systems in your class, and of course, you guys are all going to get it. Assess how a good system may help you fix your problems in your business. What are the biggest problems that photographers have right now? Talk to me. What's your biggest problem? Marketing. Staying organized. Finance. Workflow. Biggest problems. Not enough clients. Sales. Not enough money per session, right? Not enough space. Organization is huge. Procrastination. Oh, yeah, it's a big one. Balancing life, family, and work. Trust me, the systems are going to take care of that. The systems will take care of that. Now, here's the problem. For those of you who are feeling like, oh my God, I have so much to do, you are absolutely right. You have a lot to do. I hate to be blunt, but you do. And, oh, it's going to be overwhelming at first. But once you do the work, it's easy. The work in the beginning is exhausting. Trust me. These systems I'm teaching you in 5 weeks have taken me probably 6 to 7 years to master. And it's been slow because something didn't go right. We've got to fix it, change the system. You're constantly kind of babysitting and tweaking things, okay? And I learned it by trial and error, basically, over 7, 8 years. So doing this in 5 weeks, I'm going to give you a plan for it, but it's going to take you probably a good 6 months if you're dedicated and devoted and disciplined to actually getting it all in place. Okay? And it's going to take some time, and you need to be a little forgiving of yourself. Don't the temptation to do that and to just throw your hands up in the air and walk away is going to be huge. But remember persistence. Don't take no for an answer. Do not let your brain get the better of you. That's going to be your biggest challenge over the next 5 weeks. What I've done is compartmentalized all of this into sections. You know how many of you have run a marathon? Okay. Dawn's like, hell no. You cray, girl? Yes. I haven't either. Makes you feel better. But runners tell me the first 10 miles are cake. You're trained, you're good. She's like, no, they're not. It's the last 8 or 9 miles that are killer. But you have to section it off mile by mile. You can't look at it as 26 miles. You have to look at it in chunks. Otherwise, you will literally go insane. You will literally go insane. So that's why this course is a 5-week course, because there's so much content, number one. But number two, trust me, the outline alone for this course took us almost a month to complete, because we needed to section each thing off so it was not an overwhelming chunk to chew. So each section is going to build upon build upon build upon build upon build. So every day that you're in here, you're going to keep creating this hierarchy of pumpkinness. Okay? It's not really a word, but that's okay. I always come up with some random weird word in a Creative Live course. It's like awesome sauce. Remember awesome sauce? I don't think it was mine, but anyway. So you got to be here and consistent and do it every day, because that's what will ultimately create the big picture. Questions, comments, concerns, issues that you're just like, the one thing I really know that I need.
If you're really an entrepreneur.
Give me the microphone.
If you're an entrepreneur by heart, how do you really get into being the manager? And I think that's my problem.
Yes, you're scattered. You feel like
I see the big picture, but you know, all of those systems and processes have to get put into place for the 5-year, 2-year, 5-year, 10-year picture to come to fruition.
You're an artist.
With just my help. No,
Yeah.
I can't hire
Of
other
course
people
not.
to
No.
do it right now. You know?
No, neither could I. No, I would never expect you to.
I can recruit family members.
There you go.
They
Cheap
don't
labor.
necessarily do it the way I want.
And I remember when we talked about the left brain, right brain earlier, just about an hour ago, you were kind of going, yeah, I'm right brain, right? Are you more of a right brain person?
I'm a little bit both.
Okay.
I have another job that I do some scientific consulting, and I love being creative, so I like to do both, but it's hard to manage everything.
It is really hard to manage. And by the way, we're going to discuss fully taking the leap to full-time photographer in, I think, week 4. We're going to be discussing when is the time to leave your job, your paying job, and when is the time to get a retail space, a studio, like actually make that leap to those kinds of things. So that is coming. But as far as your first question, which is, I have the big picture in my head, I just don't know how to get there. That's where I'm really hoping to help you. Because when I break down everything that you do in a studio, you're going to go, oh yeah, I do that. You're going to be able to compartmentalize all the tasks within the system. And obviously, you're not going to do it exactly like me, no, but everybody has their own system, and that's the whole point, is I want you to tweak it for your own needs. But once you have, like, pages in a binder that say, okay, editing, here's what I'm supposed to do. Marketing, here's my promotions for the year, here's my plan, here's my step of action, here's how I'm going to apply the buying triggers to them, here's the different collateral I need to make, et cetera, et cetera. And then it's literally about making a to-do list. And I mean, you should see my to-do list. It's a little bit of a nightmare. I'm creative. I can be messy, right? No one ever said that systems couldn't be messy, right? No, I'm kidding. But anyway, I'm totally one of those people who's cluttered. So I've like got Post-its everywhere, you know, like to do today, this, 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 and this. And I cross it off my list, and there's some huge satisfaction in being able to take my number 2 pencil and go cross it off. That's what you're going to do. You're going to create processes and steps for each area of your business. And then you can even go so far as make a calendar and go, okay, especially for big picture things, like I need to accomplish this marketing strategy by the end of October. I need to put up a display and so by the beginning of January. You know, you can set deadlines for yourself and then make the to-do task and set aside certain days of the week for big picture projects versus day-to-day operations, okay? So one of my things, I come in the morning, I'm sure many of you do this, I come in and sit down at my desk, and the first thing I do is make a to-do list of everything that needs to get accomplished that day, whether it's client work, education, and photographers, or big picture planning, okay? And, you know, do big picture plans always get taken care of all the time? No, of course not, because I've got too many clients in the pipeline at this time, I just don't have time to do them all. At that point in your business, you start to go, am I going to make more money if I give this to somebody on minimum wage versus me doing it? Then that's when another system starts to take hold. And you go, okay, I need to hire somebody at $12 an hour to do this when I can be doing marketing, which is going to make the studio $2,000 a day. Does that follow? So there will be a time in your business when you go, I am really wasting a lot of money doing this task when I can pay somebody minimum wage to do it. Like packaging orders. I should not be packaging orders. Do I still? Yeah, because sometimes it's nice just to do a tedious task and not really think. But for the most part, I should be letting my people package orders because it's a simple task. I'm the one who needs to be in charge of marketing, strategic planning, special projects, IT, because I'm the IT person in the studio, that kind of stuff where I would pay a lot of money for those services. I do that myself because that's where I'm going to be making the studio money and planning for its growth. Does that make sense? So you'll get to that point. So yes, you have a big picture dream in mind. I want to be doing this, and I want to be in my own retail space, and it's going to look like this. And I mean, we all have that dream, right? Oh, we all do. Trust me, I had it. I still have it to this day. Like, let's redecorate. I mean, we all have that dream. But when you have the different areas of business that you can identify and nail down, and then create systems for those and subsystems within that, and you know those systems and you have set plans for them, I want an employee, a new employee, to be able to walk into your business and go, oh yeah, okay, here's a manual on how to make orders. Cool, let's do this. Bam, done, you don't even have to train them. That's ideal. It's kind of really ideal. Obviously, you have to train people a little bit, but you get my drift, right? That's what I want you to be in. Yes, it's a lot of work. But once it's done, once the systems are set, then it's just a matter of tweaking and babysitting and adjusting and improving along the way, okay? So assess how a good system can fix the issues in your business. You don't know a lot about systems right now, so I don't expect you to solve the problem in your homework. I just want you to think about it, okay? Go back to your dream. My dream back in 2006, I spent 11 years in television news. I was a morning anchor and meteorologist for many years. Whole other life, okay? I was up at 3:30 in the morning to be at work by 4 to be on the air by 5, okay? Hi, bumpy, perky, happy, drink my coffee. Good morning, Portland, at 5 in the morning, okay? It was exhausting. And dealing with rapes, murders, and child abductions all day long and Amber Alerts really got old. So when I was demoted for ratings and moved to the Ironman shift on weekends, which was basically get up at 3 a.m., be on the air by 7, go off at 9, be back at work at 3 p.m., go on the air at 5 and 6 and 11, go home at midnight, come back at 3 a.m., and the cycle started over. I got like 2 hours of sleep on Sunday night. They called it the Ironman shift for that reason. And I just said enough is enough. And I was still working in that industry full time. And I started my photography business when I was still working out of my home. You're going to see my home studio. I'm going to show you that. Okay? I started in my garage. It was just like all of you. Okay? There were pictures of other people's kids on my walls. I mean, that's how I treated my business, and you'll see it all. And 2 years later, my contract was mutually agreed to not be renewed. In other words, I got fired. And that's when I said, okay, jump. And I took what I could in materials and built a plane on the way down. I had a mortgage. It was 2008. The market crashed. Okay? Thank God I sold my house and broke even and didn't lose anything. It was just a stroke of pure divinity that did not happen. My boyfriend at the time, who is now my husband, bless his heart, took me in. Remember when gas was like $4 a gallon? I could not pay the gas to go see him. I could not fill my tank because I didn't have money. I was so broke. And at the time, I was sharing commercial space I decided to make the leap and move into a commercial space and share it with a photographer, and slowly grew, okay? With the help of my now husband. He loaned me some money, and I paid him back after about 6 months. It was only like $4,000 or $5,000, but it floated me through what I needed to actually launch and become a full-time photographer. And if it weren't for him, I would not be here today. And a year later, 2009, we moved to Bend, okay? And I started all over again. Crazy, I know. But I've started twice, once in a huge market and once in a small town. So I'm hoping that you guys will benefit from that knowledge a little bit here and there. Obviously, every business is different, but I'm going to share with you as much as I can in that department. Own your dream. You all had this dream in the beginning, and it fueled you, and so did I. And then scary things come along to make you doubt that dream. The dream is what fuels through the doubt. That persistence and the belief that you can do it. Good entrepreneurs believe they have a product that is in demand, whether they do or not. But if you don't believe it, if you inject that doubt into your business, you'll never, ever succeed. So you have to believe. You all know what that feeling is like, oh, I want to do this for a living. It's so awesome. I'm making families happy and yada, yada. I mean, trust me, I've been there, done that, got that t-shirt multiple times over. Go back to that dream, write it down, own it, because it's what's going to fuel you for the next 5 weeks. Okay, are we all kind of like thinking about our business and ready to take it to the next level? Oh gosh, okay. Little story. So I just briefly was in the green room refreshing my lipstick, and I briefly looked at Facebook on in the group that we're in. And there was I had posted my story earlier in the week about how my husband lost his job. And there was a girl who posted that she was been talking about that and mentioning my situation to her fiance and how, hard that was, and wow, and gosh, people go through hard things. Well, she just revealed that he broke off his engagement with her and told her to move out. And she has like 30 days to figure out if she's going to close her business or try to make it work. And he's not renewing the lease on their house. And she's in like San Diego or something where the real estate is incredibly expensive. So she's faced with a 30-day decision on, do I keep my business going and make this work, or do I get a real job? And yeah, I just broke my heart, and I just wanted to tell her that I felt for her. Been there, done that right now. That need to grow your income quickly is an overwhelming thought. But you can do it. And sometimes fate, God, destiny, whatever you want to call it, throws things in our lap that make us own up and step up to the plate. And I think this is one of those times for her and me and many of you. So some of people have it worse than others, and there will always be someone more worse off than you. That's the way I like to put it. But I think with some determination, fate will not put in your lap what you cannot accomplish. And if you have a positive attitude and own that, you will get through it. And I always say to people who are going through health crisis or things like that, there's been just proven day after day research that says a positive attitude really helps heal the body. And I think that's true whether it's a health issue or a business. A positive attitude really helps you clear out the clutter. It gives you a focus. It gives you a positive energy to create from. And really, making a business and doing these systems is creative work. Creativity is problem solving. That's what creativity is. So by doing these systems, we are being creative. And if you're not allowing positive energy and empathy and really nurturing yourself, there's no way you can make positive, creative choices in your business if you have a negative influence in your head. So it truly is a choice to be positive. It really is. My mother has mental health issues, so she was a very negative person growing up, so I kind of learned how to be negative. And it wasn't until my mid-20s that I took a look at myself and I went, wow, you're really being negative about stuff. Like other people had to tell me, like, you're kind of, negative Nelly, giving me a rough time, like, oh, yeah, victim, whoa, no, I don't want to be that. Don't want to be my mother. So be positive. And I had to train myself to be positive about stuff. And it's not easy. It's not. You have to be able to be self-aware enough that you go, oh, yeah, okay, I'm not being very happy right now. I'm kind of down on myself. I need to change that. And because you're doing more damage to yourself by being negative than you are to the problem. Okay, so you need a couple systems, right? Let's change the subject. Big deal. Yeah, a few systems here and there, right? I know it seems like a big deal, but we're going to start one by one. Okay? The first one we're going to look at is service. Customer service. We're going to spend like 2 days on this, the next 2 days on customer service. So tomorrow and Wednesday will be all about service. But let's have a look. Have you ever missed something in an order? Yeah, I've done it lots of times. I still do it. Got to fix that system. Ever had a customer angry with you? Oh, yeah, I have. Ever lost session images? Yep, been there, done that. Oh, ouch. Forgotten to notify a client about something? Bombed a sale? Been there, done that. Forgotten their name? I still do it. Belinda is a master. We do newborns, okay? She knows both parents' names, all the kids, and their birth dates. Oh, yeah, that's the so-and-so family. They have little baby Ezra. He was born December such and such. She's one of those weird people. How does she do that? I don't, and it's amazing. I will never have that skill, ever. Okay? But you can create systems to help you. Okay? So now we have a booking sheet that has all of their information, because she's in there typing it, which I would do if I didn't have her. And I have every little detail about them that we've ever talked to them on the phone about. So like, you're on the phone with them and booking, because we're going to talk a lot about booking in the next 2 days and how to book clients and a system for that. And she'll, talk to them and connect with them, and, are they redecorating their house? Are they remodeling? Who's the kids in school? She just like writes down everything about where they are, what they do, what their lifestyle is like. And then we have that information, so I can say, oh, Mary Smith, so good to see you. How's little such and such? Oh, and Belinda tells me that you're remodeling the house and you had some issues with the living room. How did that get resolved? Like when you can just automatically know them by simply writing down information about them and having it at your disposal is a huge customer service coup. Nobody else does it. And when nobody else does something, it makes you look better, right? So if you chase that system for customer service, you're going to see the growth. Customer service, whoa, how do you systemize that? Okay, don't I just be nice to everybody? Is that, most of you think that, right? Shouldn't I just be nice? Okay, really? What is it? What is customer service? It's about a good experience, right? Are you guys a retail business? No. You might think you are. You are a service business. You do custom, commissioned work. Do you have a product at the end of it? Yeah. But technically, you are a service. So that means that half of that product is your service. So your customer service is part of what you sell. So it better be good, right? I love this quote by Katie Therms. We take photos as a return ticket to a moment otherwise gone. This is my husband and son. That's a beer bottle, just so you know. I took this with my used new at the time, Contax 645 medium format film camera at our beach house. And that we have a rental beach house that we go to every once in a while. And my husband was drinking a beer in the hot tub, and my son took the entire beer, dumped it in the hot tub, and then proceeded to fill it up with water and pour it on my husband's head. And I took a picture. I love this picture. What did I just tell you? I told you the experience. Every time they look at the images you take of them, they will think of their experience. Why do you go on vacation and take pictures? Why do you take pictures on your vacation? The only way to go back to the experience of being in Hawaii on the beach is to look at the photograph. It triggers the experience memory, right? I hope I'm ingraining on you how important customer service is in this last 5 minutes. Honestly, I did not get this until about a year ago. And it finally dawned on me, and I went, oh my God. Customer experience is like what I do. That's my product. I don't sell a piece of paper. I've always known I don't sell a piece of paper with an image on it. I sell the experience associated with the image. Of course, it's the memory of the baby being all cute and snuggly and 2 days old or whatever. But it's the experience. If my clients have a bad experience with me, whoa, that's not good. In the Photo Week class, I talked about a client of mine who, she brought the baby to me freshly. He had just been circumcised. Sorry if it's TMI for too many people, but it's a total fact of life in newborn photography. We deal with it every day. And the baby screamed the whole time, and we had to reschedule the session, and I had accidentally, on the sibling, I had wrapping her in fabric, and I accidentally clamped her in the back with the clamp and put a huge gash and bruise on her back. And of course, I mean, you imagine the terror of the session. I mean, it was like screaming kids ever. I felt so bad. I mean, even to this day, the memory of it is just like, it was probably the worst customer experience I've ever given someone in my life. And it was all accidental. It wasn't anything that I was doing on purpose. You know, like I wasn't malicious in any way. Of course not. But it just, you know how those some clients just everything keeps bad happening with them? Them, only them. Like, why is it that they keep having things wrong? And it like snowballs down the hill, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe something bad happened again with this client. You can't win. You ever had those clients? Oh my gosh. And you just feel like you're on a train wreck. This was a train wreck. And she wrote me an email that was so gut-wrenchingly awful, and basically told me that I had maimed her children, that she did not know if they would ever recover, and that it was like the most horrible experience. And she was dead serious. And a year later, Belinda saw her in a baby store, and she mentioned it and commented and go, I just took so-and-so to the doctor last week, and the doctor says that he'll be okay. Like, because his circumcision was hurting him, and he bled a little bit, because it was my stupidity. It was a stupid mistake. She will always remember that when she looks at her newborn images. That was a screw up to the nth degree. I mean, like, you can't screw up more than that. And that kills me, that she is going to associate her beauty of motherhood with the balls dropped that I dropped. Sucks. Customer service is your product line. So what are you doing to maximize it and systemize it? 50% of your product is your customer service. That's a big number. How many of you feel like your customer service is really at a reliable, consistent, works every time with every client situation? Yeah, shaky, shaky. Wouldn't it be nice if you knew that every single customer who came through the door is going to get this, 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 and every problem has a solution? Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, because then you know you're producing reliable results. If there's a complaint, you can nip it in the bud right away, and with efficiency and with good. I mean, think about when you go to a store, or worse yet, friggin' the phone call on tech support, hold for like an hour, you know? I call my phone company or whatever, or the internet company, and you have to sit there to elevator music for like 20 minutes before you can talk to anybody. Don't be that company. Do you know what I'm saying? Be proactive, be quick, be efficient, have solutions to problems immediately. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow and Wednesday, creating that system. So really what it comes down to, the question is what are you doing to make your customer service absolutely irresistible? And when we talk about the client booking cycle and the marketing, customer service feeds that cycle. Customer service is so important to me. Customer service and branding are probably top in a business, okay? First of all, you're going to create a customer service roadmap or manual, okay? You're going to deliver on your promises to your clients. You're going to under-promise and over-deliver. You're going to create that personal connection with them and create a system for doing that. You're going to know your client. In week 5, we're going to talk about finding that ideal client and defining her, because typically it's a her. Commercial photographers may be a little different, but most photographers, the woman is the purchaser in the household. So what does she look like? Who is she? What does she do? What's her interest? What's her lifestyle? You are going to dive in and be empathetic to who she is. And empathy means actually being her, being in her shoes. When you fully understand your client, not only can you target them specifically when you're marketing, but you can also provide exemplary customer service. Remove barriers to information, connectivity, and collaboration. Your client wants all of you. They want information. They need to know what's going on. You need to communicate it for your benefit, and you need to communicate that information about the session for their benefit. I tend to look at the information that I need to communicate to them for my benefit as being the bigger benefit. It plants the seed of the sale, right? It gets them thinking about what they're going to do with their images. Connectivity. Remove the barriers to connectivity. Are you an email-only studio? Do you get on the phone and talk to your clients? You should be. Is everything just cold and no human connection? Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not. So ask yourself where those systems are going to improve upon things. In my market, my clients like to talk on the phone. My sister is a newborn photographer in Southern California. Her clients, in a hurry. Los Angeles, bam, 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 move, 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 quick, 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 hurry. She's got to systemize everything so that there's it's all done online. Her clients don't want to talk on the phone. They want to be on email, they want to be on text, they want to book online, bam, bam, wham, thank you, ma'am, we're done. They're in such a hurry. So you have to know your client, know your market, know the culture. Immerse yourself. For those of you there's one person in here who just moved to Seattle. Who is that? It's her. What's your name? Valerie. Valerie just moved from Boston? Yeah. Boston to Seattle, and she's got to start over in this market. Yeah. You got to research this market. Seattle is a whole different culture than Boston. Woohoo, they're a little cuckoo here. Hey! I woke you up, didn't I? Good. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love Seattle, actually. It's a really cool town. But there's a different mentality here. The East Coast can be very conservative, very, everybody's very, we don't warm up until we get to know you kind of thing. Well, on the West Coast, Seattle's like, hey, what's up? Let's go have a beer. You want to microbrew it? Everybody's really casual here. Make sure you recycle. So know your market, know your client, know who you're targeting, because that's going to help you deal with things like customer service and, of course, targeting your market for not only branding but also marketing promotions. Knowing your client is one of the single most things you can do to put yourself heads and shoulders above your competition. Because what happens when you know your client? You target that person and you get rid of the diseased gourds. You get rid of the nasty pumpkins. You don't need those nasty pumpkins. You want your ideal client, okay? Customer service communication is key. You must communicate, and it's like dating. It seriously is like asking for a date. It's got to be all about them, right? All about making them feel like they are the most important client and they're the only client you have. It's hard to do, but you can do it with a system. As a matter of fact, it's easier to do with a system than it is not. Okay? Welcome complaints and respond quickly and with quality. The woman with the 2 kids whom I basically maimed. Oh. Her whole session was free. That's the least I could do. Should I check in with her? Yeah, I'm scared to death. I don't want to call her because I'm like afraid she's going to give me the riot act. And you know how it is. It's scary to do that. So I haven't called her yet. I should. Someday I will when I get up the nerve to do it. But I really should be. I should be checking in with her and responding and making sure she's okay. And that's where I'm kind of dropping the ball a little bit. My point in saying this and admitting my flaws here is to tell you that no system is totally perfect. That you will be faced with your inner demons and you will be faced with, you know, things not always going the way you want. But if you know the processes, it makes it easier to solve the problems. Okay? Know the value of the rule of reciprocity. And we're going to talk about buying triggers in the last week, week 5. But the rule of reciprocity basically means if I do something nice for you, chances are you're going to want to pay me back. It's human nature that if somebody does something nice for you, you're going to want to return the favor. Especially when things are unexpectedly nice. So, and I'm not talking about giving away something free. Been there, done that. Who cares? Boring. I'm talking thinking of them, knowing their family, asking questions that no one else is asking. Dating, like you want to marry this person. So you need to be fully vested in them emotionally. And that can be draining at times. But if you keep documentation of everything in your customer service workflow, you're going to know these things. Trust me, when right before my client comes running through the door, I am in their file going, okay, and so I remember everything about them, and then I can go downstairs and go, oh, hello, Mrs. Smith. Oh, yes, I heard about the accident. Are you guys okay? You know, whatever. It can be as simple as, oh my gosh, your mother-in-law left yesterday. Did she get out of town safely? Simple little things like that that they've told you on a whim. Write that stuff down. That's awesome fodder. Because nobody does it. So when you do it, you just raise yourself head and shoulders above the rest. And it's such an easy thing to do. A handwritten note. Every single client who books a session at our studio, and you guys will get to see all my marketing materials when we talk about collateral and branding, but we have a little welcome card, and it's a handwritten, we sign it at the studio, and it's just a little wonderful welcome card that's cute, has a little baby on it. It says, we're so excited to shoot your session, and we talk about the value of self-esteem and how much it instills in children's hearts when they're photographed and research, you know, and stuff like that. And it's just quick and easy, it's very friendly, and we send it snail mail with a little hand stamp on it that says, this is your story. I mean, cute, adorable. People want good snail mail. I don't think it comes as junk and bills right now. So if you send something pretty and happy and welcoming, they're going to be like, oh my gosh. And I could even take it a step further if I wanted to spend more money and like send a little gift. What if I sent a cute little pacifier or something in the mail? And granted, there's 100 different ways you can do that, and you have to assess your budget and how much you want to spend on these kinds of projects. But those little things, and it's just part of our workflow. The cards are all on the desk upstairs, and we book them, write down their address, grab one, envelope it, sign it, stamp on it, and out the door it goes. I mean, it's just part of the workflow. And it's every client. You have to habitualize yourself into doing that and make it easy and put it so that the cards are sitting right there on your desk. It's just the automatic thing you do after you book a client. You just write the card out, bam, put a stamp on it, and send it out the door. Okay? A tiny little extra thing that means so much. So, customer service has two areas, the internal part and the external. Okay? The external part of it is the part that the client sees. So that's the part that the client experiences when it comes to your customer service. The internal part is everything you do to make sure the external happens. Does that follow? So in other words, and we'll talk about this a lot tomorrow, we have a huge whiteboard on our wall upstairs that has every single process the client is supposed to go through, and we literally check it off when it's done. Client name here, check, 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 and you'll see all this as we go through the next few days here. But that keeps us on task. Has the welcome card been sent? Has the contract been signed? What's the kids' names, ages, sex, you know, boy, girl, whatever, session date, due date, complicated labor. I mean, just everything is written down on this board to help us keep our checks and balances with customer service. And that's what makes the client experience perfection. Okay? So by creating the system inside the studio, you make the client's external experience better. Okay? These are some interesting facts. 78% of customers have bailed on an intended transaction because of a poor experience. That's a research study done by American Express. Okay? 78%. I've done it. You walk into a store, people are kind of cranky, nobody wants to talk to you, I really need some help. Let's go somewhere else. And I was going to buy a $1,000 TV. Whoops. Bad customer service. In 2011, 86% of customers quit doing business with a company due to a poor transaction or service experience, versus 59% in 2007. What does that tell you about customer service in business? Going down the drain. Almost all businesses across the board. If you are doing a small business, sole proprietor, owner occupied, you are expected to have good customer service. I mean, think about it. I mean, like, lately we've been walking into hardware stores, Home Depot and Lowe's, and like we haven't been able to find somebody to help us. My husband's in construction, so. And he gets really frustrated when there's nobody around to help him, like on a Sunday morning. There's not a lot of people there. I'm like, honey, it's Sunday. Just be patient. He can't deal. But now it's kind of expected. So he goes in there knowing he needs something. So he goes in there knowing he's not going to get good service, so he just tries to find it. He spends a little extra time finding what he needs, okay? Which is sad. But with a small business, if someone walks into my shop and I don't go downstairs and greet them, oh my gosh. That's bad. You know, there's a certain expectation with a small business, especially a boutique high-end business like mine, where we are right there. And trust me, sometimes I really don't want to meet them because it says by appointment only on the door and nobody listens. You get my point. It's important to be there no matter what when they come through the door. And that external picture of your business contributes to the brand. And what is a brand? I mean, all this intertwines, right? What is a brand? A brand is how your clients experience, feel, and sense your business. It's the impression they are left with, whether or not they decided to buy at that time or not. That's the brand. So customer service is a huge component of the brand because it's part of what they experience, right? When you have good customer service, you differentiate your business from others. So many photographers drop the ball on customer service. So many. It's an afterthought, which kills me. Because to me, it's like one of the most important things in your business. It's half your product line. It's an experience. When they look at the images, they are going to remember the experience. It's a fact. Okay? So this is good for all you, because since most photographers think of it as an afterthought, you don't have much competition when it comes to customer service. You just have to elevate your customer service and really provide a great experience for your clients, and you're going to put yourself head and shoulders above everybody else immediately. And of course, that's when you get referrals, right? When that customer service is incredible, those really top big pumpkin clients start referring other pumpkins to you. And those pumpkins are big. They're nice. You become unique, and you got a lot of big pumpkins in your yard, and everybody's going, how the hell she grow so many damn good pumpkins? Okay? You set yourself apart, which is always what we've been Customer service is part of that. And it elevates the client's idea of your business in their mind. They feel good working with you, and they want to come back. You guys all know that 80% of your business comes from 20% of your clients, right? Yeah. So deepen your relationship with them and make them come back through that amazing experience. which overall elevates the brand, which overall elevates your impression of your business, which overall elevates the referrals, and bam, 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 all of a sudden your pumpkin is prize winning. Okay? Okay. Organization. There was someone in the back who was worried about organization. Who was it? It was one of you two. What's your name? Becky. I'm going to have a hard time remembering everybody's names, but I'm going to try. Becky. Just so you know, I'm really disorganized too. Organization's hard. They actually say that creatives have to be a little messy in order to be creative. Like there's been a research study on it. I forget exactly where it's from, but yeah, I read that too. You read that too, yeah, somewhere, some university. Let's just call it Harvard, right? I'm kidding. I don't remember, but it was a research study. I do remember it being a university research study that creatives need a little clutter. I know where everything is. That's all that matters, right? Well, not quite. But a little clutter is okay. Yeah. That's pretty much me, a hot mess. I'm sure most of you have hot mess tendencies too. But I so love what Albert Einstein said. He said, if a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, then what are we to think of an empty desk? He's exactly right. And Albert Einstein is one of the most creative people in the universe of all time. So to me, I feel okay being a little cluttered with limitations. You have to be able to access things easily, okay? There's being cluttered and there's being a hot mess, okay? Hot mess means your client files are all over the place, you don't know where things happen, you're not keeping track of orders, your files are everywhere. You guys should have seen my desktop like 3 days ago. It was a nightmare. But if you can keep the really critical components of your systems organized, you're going to feel a lot better. And when you create the systems and you get them a hot mess once or twice, you're going to learn your lesson really quick. And you're going to drop something, drop a ball, something's going to happen, customer's going to be upset, an order won't get placed, something will happen, and you'll be like, ooh, that was because that was really a hot mess, okay? That'll force you to get into a more organized state. It will make your life clear. So in this course, we are going to talk about studio organization, on-location organization, not only with your props, your background, your equipment, storage, how to deal with all that, but we're also going to be discussing how to keep your office spaces organized, your filing systems organized, your computer workflow images organized. Everything should have a place. Yes. Do you have 4 coffee cups on your desk from the last 4 days of you working like crazy? Yes. I left them on my desk when I left Bend yesterday. But I understand they need to be cluttered, and it's okay, but ultimately the pertinent things, the stuff that makes the business run, has to be in a system. Booking. Do you book more than 70% of the clients who inquire? Nice job. Nice work. So you're booking. But then the question becomes, are you making the average you want with all of them? Yeah. That's where we're going to learn to get rid of the crappy clients, okay? You may be booking a lot, but you want to book the right people, right? Okay? What happens when the phone rings? Oh, I got to talk to somebody on the phone. The temptation to just want to email them back is like huge, or let it go to voicemail. Oh my gosh, yes, I know. I'll see who they are and see if they sound right, then I'll call them back. We all do it, okay? And trust me, sometimes I still do it to this day. I'll be like, Belinda, we don't have time, just let it go to voicemail. And the key is we respond within 24 hours. Usually less. If it goes beyond 24 hours, sometimes I'll just like even go, oh, my bad, ignore it, make it go away, and I won't even call back, period. Which is really bad. But the goal is to call them back same day. And I prefer for Belinda to pick up the phone. Now, I want you to know, Belinda came on as my nanny. I hired her in 2011 when my son was born, and I found her from care.com. Her educational background is in child development. That's her degree, okay? She wanted to own a daycare initially. She was great with kids. I loved her. I'm like, she's perfect nanny for my baby because I had to hire somebody because I'm going back to work. I couldn't take my kid to work with me. The studio doesn't run without me. So she came on, and she was so bright and smart that I said, well, shoot, when my son's sleeping, why can't she do other things? So she would sit with Dean in the Moby wrap on her chest while he was asleep, and she learned Photoshop. She learned booking. She learned phone conversations. She learned how to email. You should have seen her the first time I made her pick up the phone and book a client. She was like shaking in her boots. And she's like, don't listen to me. Don't go away. Don't listen. I mean, she was so nervous, and I don't blame her. It is scary, okay? Because it's such a process. And since we have such a system for that conversation to get them to book, she had to own up to that system, and the success of it was determined by whether or not the client booked the session. So it was a huge amount of pressure. And she did her first one, I think it was 10 months ago, maybe 10 months ago, 11. She's like, I don't remember now. I've done so many of them. She's back there like shaking her head at me. Now she's a pro. Like, I'd rather her do it than me because she'll do it way better than I will. Okay? So this is something that can be trained to be done to effectively book almost all the clients who call and inquire. Now, of course, there are people who call, oh, last year we got our pictures taken at Walmart, but they shut down, and we just want a couple digital files. How much is that? Let me refer you to somebody down the street. Click, okay? That happens a lot in the studio. But those are diseased gourds, and I see them coming a mile away, and I don't let them into my garden, okay? You're going to have to learn how to discern between the people who are diseased and the people who are okay. Healthy, money, interested, happy, passionate about, you're my ideal client, okay? So when the phone rings, customer service-wise, what should you do? Answer it. I know that you don't want to. I know. But I'm going to teach you how to do it. I'm going to teach you so that when you pick up the phone, you will confidently know that you will have done your best to book that client. And whether or not they book, if they don't book, it means they are not for you. And you will gladly hang up and go, it's okay, more time for something else. Okay? It's okay to not book everybody. You want to book the right people. The people who own your brand, love it, who are your ideal client, whom you connect with, okay? That's what's going to make your pumpkin grow big and strong. So let's start with that first inquiry. Phone call or email? Which one? Phone call. In Los Angeles, maybe a little different. Maybe you should think about responding to them via email with lots of information. That kind of makes me cringe, but that's because I live in Bend, Oregon. People still like to talk on the phone in Bend, Oregon. But I have to consider my market. I'm in a very tight niche, newborn babies. My clients are 20 to 35 years old. They are high-tech Gen X, millennial-type kids, okay? Kids. I say kids lovingly. You know what I mean by when I say that. I'm not trying to be derogatory anyway. But they're younger than me, and they're built on technology. That's where they were raised. I mean, they text. There are photographers who book via text, which blows my mind. But it does happen, and sometimes that's good. You know, and that's something on my radar. As an entrepreneur, you know, and I'm 42 years old, so I am just beyond that generation. But I have to look at that younger generation and what technology. I have to get into my target clientele's life. And if she's on text and email, then I need to think long and hard about whether or not that's an appropriate response for me, and do I get into that, and how do I get into it with the best customer service? So that's where I go, okay, should I tweak my system? Should I tweak it, make it grow, change it, make it more effective to the target client? Always be thinking about your target client and what she needs. Now, for me right now, the phone is where I can truly connect and relate with her. And this happens to go through those buying triggers. Rule of reciprocity, liking, authority, social proof. We're going to talk about all these in week 5. But if I can get her to like me, chances are she will book me. Okay? So there is an art to that conversation, and there is a system to it. we're going to make a phone script and hash out all the scenarios that occur to maximize the phone call for your benefit and her love of you. You write out a response to any objection, and you practice. How many of you have actually practiced conversation with your friends, either in sales or in booking? Very few. If this makes you nervous and you don't like to pick up the phone, why are you not practicing? Practice makes perfect. Have a friend pick up the phone and talk to you and pretend that she's interested. And a friend is great because they don't know any better, and they're uneducated in the photography industry, so you're going to have a real-life scenario to it. If you make a script and write out all the issues and problems and everything that you need to address with the client for your benefit, for the sales benefit, for the session's benefit, for the brand's benefit, if you write all those points that you need to get across down on a piece of paper, and when you first start booking people, you go through that and you'll hear them talk and you'll listen, and you're like, okay, I need to make sure and bring that up. You can put a mark by it, highlight it. As you talk, there'll be a perfect time for that part of the conversation to come into play. And you'll be able to get a point all your needs, connect with them on an emotional level. And if you do that, you've provided incredible customer service on the phone, which is the hardest way to do it, mind you. That first phone call is the hardest thing you'll ever do when it comes to getting clients in your door. And it depends on which area they are in the buying process. Some people are just considering, they know they have a problem. They need to solve, they don't. The first situation is when they're completely unaware of the problem. Oh, I'm supposed to take newborn pictures? Huh? They don't even know there's a problem. Those people are the hardest to book. Chances are, if someone's inquiring with you, they're already moving down the customer cycle, and they're in the process where they know they have a problem. They're considering who to help solve that problem and whether or not you can do it for them. Okay? And then they make the purchasing decision. And the purchasing decision often is made based on those buying triggers. Rule of reciprocity, liking, social proof, all those triggers that make someone buy something happens in that conversation. So that's where they're going to book you. And then we go through that whole buying process again through the sales session and into the IPS appointment, where again the social triggers will take place and you'll get the sale or not at the price you needed to get at. So if you think about these things when you're dealing with your client, you're going to start analyzing your business from a very logical and systematic perspective. Oh, she's right here. I need to apply the liking and social proof component because she just told me that she had a friend who is in the such and such group, and I'm a member of that, so I need to tell her that 2 of her other friends have booked with us and done their babies. That'll give her social proof and she'll book. You got to think about these things. I talked really fast. Did you guys just follow that? Okay. I'm like, maybe I should slow down just a little bit. So we're going to make a phone script for this kind of thing so that when people call and inquire, you're going to be eager to pick up the phone because you're going to be challenged to want to book them. You're like, okay, I got this down. I got a system. I know it works. I can make this happen. Then you're confident. You exude that confidence, and your clients go, wow, they really know what the heck they're doing. Authority. They are pros. Okay? Getting them to book involves language, connection and communication, relating and understanding, service and inquisitiveness to their problem, and putting their needs first. Now, this depends on the market. Obviously, Los Angeles and Bend, Oregon are different. But most potential clients who are serious about booking will want to talk. So email, I avoid it. I get a lot of email inquiries. Of course we do. They inquire from the website. What's your digital files? Do you sell? Yeah, got to call them and start educating, right? But I have a slot for a phone number. If they put hash marks on the phone number, do I send them a response? Yeah, but it's a canned response, and I ask for their phone number. We need to discuss this with you on the phone if we're going to book you. I don't even give them the option to do all this via email. Like, if you really want to book me, you got to call me on the phone. Because to me, a really serious client is one who's going to want to discuss the situation with you. I'm a high-end studio. You're going to spend at least $1,000 coming in to see me, and I want to make sure we have a talk about that before you decide to book. Customer service keeps the client cycle rolling. When you first start out, this is where you are. Those of you starting in business, you have this huge marketing thing to deal with. Because people need, you are just a tiny little speck of dust on a sea of a big floor full of other businesses, and you got to make sure people know about you, right? It's daunting, especially in a huge city. Trust me, it's a lot easier to market in a small town than it is in a huge city. I always suggest taking it by zip code. Just focus on your zip code right now, and then grow it into other zip codes as you grow. But you have to get new clients in the door. So when you're first starting out, that new clients arrow is critical to growing your business, right? And you'll take anything. Headshots, commercial, weddings, babies, dogs, whatever, right? I did it, trust me, I've been there, done that. And what happens is, though, as you get a new client, the first thing they experience, people make a brand impression on your business within 7 seconds. 7 seconds. When they walk in your door, that's the time you have to impress them with your brand. A brand is visual style, moral promise, it's emotional response to you and your business. You have 7 seconds to make a good impression, whether it be on the phone, on your website, or in your space. So, if this sucks, you may keep the client through the cycle, but you won't see them again. How many of you have good repeat clients who come to you year after year? You're probably doing something right with your brand and your customer service. You're getting these pieces in place. If the first thing that new client experiences is the brand, they book because they like what they see, and something has triggered them to buy. They go through the session, the experience, the product line, canvas, wall, whatever, albums, yada, yada, yada. The customer service that you provide to them is the cycle that keeps them going throughout this. And if it's high quality and good, they're going to get over here and go, that was amazing, I'm going to refer so-and-so. And they will spend money. They will become loyal evangelists of your business, and they will refer people like them to you. So customer service is the wheel, the energy that makes this wheel, the water wheel go around. And eventually, you start getting more of these than you do of these. Then you don't have to work so hard at this. At first, it's a Herculean effort. Trust me, I spent 5 years pushing that darn snowball down the hill until it was big enough to roll by itself. Oh, it's exhausting. And I kept asking my mentors, does it ever end? I just can't keep marketing like this. It's exhausting. I'm sure you all feel like that, right? You feel like that's all you ever do is market, 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 market. You just go crazy. It does end. But it won't if these components are not in place. If your brand sucks, fix it. Learn about branding, learn how to make a good impression on your client and your customer service. If your customer service stinks, why should anybody come back to you? It's half your product line. It's what they remember when they see the images. I think you guys can see the importance of what I'm getting at. Sessions. Do you have a system for your sessions? How many images do you shoot in a session? Wedding and portrait are obviously different. So wedding, I'm not super experienced in weddings, but I mean, I've shot a couple and it's like 10,000 images. Good grief, with a second shooter, it's like 10,000. Narrow it down to 500 for the client, whoa. Okay, what about portrait sessions? How many images are you showing your client? How many? 30? Yell out some numbers. 40? Any more than that? No? Any less than that? More than that? Okay.
Depends on whether it's an individual or whether you're doing a family.
Yeah.
Breaking them up.
Do the microphone.
When I'm doing an individual, I'll show them between 20 and 30. But if I'm doing a family and breaking up the children, and it's more.
It's more.
Yeah. up to 50, but I don't do more than that.
Of course.
It gets overwhelming.
That's exactly it. It gets overwhelming. How long do your sessions take? I used to do 4- and 5-hour newborn sessions. Cray cray. Yeah. Sorry. If you're doing 4 to 5, you're not crazy. It is crazy, but my point is, you need it systemized. That's a lot of time wasted. Now, are there hard babies in the world? Yes. I was at Molly's studio last week, and we had a pretty challenging baby. And I think the session took 2.5, 3 hours? 3 hours, which is long for me. I was also shooting in a new location with new equipment. I didn't even have my own gear. It was pretty incredible, and so that's why it took a little extra long. But my sessions, if they take longer than 2 hours, I start to go crazy. Because I'm realizing that I'm wasting time. And I'm going to overwhelm my client. This is my big mantra. Write this down in huge letters across your forehead. I want you to tattoo it on your eyelids, and I want you to draw blood and write it on your paper. Less is more. In everything that you do. Less is more. Less is more. Less is more. Less is more. Okay? I have a couple students who I beat this into their head, and all they say to me when they see me is, less is more. Less is more. Less is more. It's true, though. Less is more. Session systems create efficiency, consistency, reliability, no overwhelmed clients. The concept of scarcity, which is a buying trigger. Remember, you know how things like are on sale for a limited time? Oh, if I don't buy it now, I won't get the good price. That's scarcity. Creative Live is a master at that. Okay? Buy it now while it's on sale. That is the buying trigger called scarcity. When there's a few images that are really good, they go, wow, we got to have them all. And it raises the perceived value because if they're all beautiful and good, we can't just take one home, okay? That's the concept you want. What about post-editing? Session system for there. How long does it take you to edit a session? Oh, this is a big one. This is a big one. Can you edit an image in under 2 minutes? Ooh, who said yes? Ooh, I might hot seat you guys. I'm going to put one of you on the spot. She's like, not me. You should be trying to edit your everyday images for clients in under 2 minutes apiece. So if you're showing, 30 images, that's 60 minutes to edit a full session. How many of you are doing it in under an hour? Nice work. 2 hours? It's about us. Under 2 hours is about us. So we're not even quite there yet. But Belinda, I can probably do it in about 2 minutes, depending on the, obviously each image is different. If I've got a baby with like acne and that's a lot harder. But a standard image, under 2 minutes is not a problem. Belinda's down to what, 3? Are you under 3? She's under 3. I think she's 2.5 right now. I'm going to make you do this challenge, okay? It's so important to get that fast and consistent and everything looking the same. Photographers ask me, well, don't my clients want something unique and creative and different from me? No! They want the exact same thing that's on your website. They want the exact same thing that you gave their friend Susie 2 weeks ago. If you start changing it up, you look inconsistent and unreliable. Everything is edited the same. And you don't need fancy actions. You don't need yada yada. Just do it clean and simple. Less is more, less is more, less is more. Okay? Beat that into your brains. Workflow. Does everything every time happen in a predictable order? Nope. You guys are so cute. I'm sorry, I'm making you out to be a hot mess. I don't mean to. How are you keeping track of your client and their order? You need a step-by-step tracking system, and of course, this is all in the worksheets. You need to create a system that you can either print and check off, or I have a huge whiteboard in my studio that has all the tasks that need to be completed in our workflow. information about the client. It's almost like a combination customer service and workflow board. So all the steps in customer service and all the steps in the workflow are on the list, and we literally check them off. And we can walk up the stairs, look at the board, and go, oh, so-and-so hasn't brought in their contract. Not shooting that session until I get that contract. It's so valuable. So valuable, because a lot of times we send them the electronic contract and they don't sign it. Do not touch that baby until that liability policy is released and signed. So important. So if I didn't have that board up there, I wouldn't know that, because I'd be rushed to go to the session. I wouldn't look at their file. You know how it is. I mean, things get lost in the shuffle. So having a visual reference where you can just go, yeah, baby, that's my day, is so comforting. Nothing is dropped. Okay? What about digital? There's all kinds of amazing companies out there that do studio management workflow. Studio Cloud is what I use. Studio Cloud integrates with ProSelect, which is my presentation and sales software, and that's one of the main reasons I use it. It's also free. I have the paid version, but it's because I have employees. But I used it for free for almost 2 years before I had to pay for it. Okay? It's a wonderful management system. There's lots of others out there, and we listed them in the worksheets to help you out. But tracking both analog and digital will keep disasters from happening. So we're going to talk about how to do that exactly. What about selling? My favorite topic. Do you hit the average sale you want every single time a client sits on your couch? No. Yes and no. There are so many systems that go into place before that sales session ever happens. Okay? The concept of selling ourselves is so, what's the word I'm looking for? It permeates every part of our insecurity and George's influence on us. I don't know about you guys, but I put my heart and soul into every product I produce, every image I create, every course I ever give. It's me. I'm literally vomiting myself into my work. I am ripping open my heart and going, here, take it. You want to buy it? That's literally what I'm saying. I'm saying, am I good enough to buy? In everything that I do. And as artists, I think we all do that. Our creativity and our soul and our hearts go into our work, right? No matter what kind of photographer you are. And so when you sit down with your client and go, what's this worth to you? Are you willing to pay for it? That's an enormous responsibility that we put on our self-esteem, right? So a lot of photographers hate to, quote, sell themselves because it feels really, right? It's like awkward. You really want to buy my work? You know? If you learn to step outside of yourself and use systems for selling, it becomes less about you and more about the system. Systems run the business, you just run the system. The 6 P's of selling are my favorite system. If you can master subsystems within pre-consultations, products, pricing, projection, policies, and purpose, you will sell your average every single time a client walks through the door. Our average sale is climbing. It's about $1,200 to $1,300 per client. And that's very high for my market. A lot of people say I'm cheap, like in other markets, like LA, but you gotta understand, I'm a town of 88,000 people. You research the demographics. And we're gonna talk about how to research your market. In week 4 or 5, we're gonna break down how you find information about your market, what your market can bear in prices, what your market has in clients, and where that money is coming from, et cetera, et cetera. So I have done that research in my market, and this is what my market can bear. I am considered the top in my market. Okay? What about this guy? That client, the one you hate to work with, who just objects to everything? We're on a budget. We don't have wall space. Can we order more later? We just want the digital files. I mean, how many times do you guys hear these objections? Almost every single time a client sits their bottoms on your couch to watch their images. I mean, this is constant. These are battles I fight every day. And if I didn't have a system for them, it would probably make me want to go hide in a hole somewhere in the fetal position. So having a system for dealing with client objections and what they're going to say to you and knowing the answer in advance is huge. We're going to talk about the language and how to do that. We're going to develop and implement a systematic response to every single difficult issue or client you've ever had. That's a big order. I think I can do it. Products and pricing. The two are incredibly intertwined, and there's wonderful systems for this. We'll dive even deeper into how to develop a product line, how to price that product line, okay? How are you even figuring your prices right now? Pricing is one of those things photographers constantly ask me about. They're like, oh, do I price? I don't know. I mean, it's like the source of agony for like everybody, right? Yes. It seriously makes you want to give up sometimes. It's so confusing. We're going to break it down. Okay? And then there's the art of pricing. Okay? There's the science and the art. And making packages is the art. And that is even scarier because there's no set formula. And everybody can do things differently. Everybody does do things differently. And the agony of knowing whether or not it will work or not is enough to make you want to jump off a cliff. Because you sit there and go, okay, I have these new packages. I think they're going to work, but I don't know. And it doesn't happen until you try. And then if you're changing your pricing every 3 months, your clients are going to go crazy. You know how that just rolls downhill. Okay? The art and science of pricing. We're going to talk about breaking down your expenses, figuring out what you need to survive, examine what you want to carry and figure your product costs. Don't carry the kitchen sink. These trade shows we go to, all these companies are like, ooh, pretty shiny things, buy me, buy me. And you're like, oh, I want to put this in my studio, it's so cute. Ooh, you better watch yourself. Okay? Being selective on which products you carry is critical to your brand. We're going to calculate your time. We're going to figure your perceived value on your products. Perceived value, not hard value. And we're going to price it for awesome profit. And we're going to package it all up so your client cannot resist and they are incentivized to buy more. That's a system and I love it because it's such a game. It really is a game. To get your client to buy more based on how you price and how you put it all together in a pretty low package is so fun. Okay? This is strategic thinking. Finance and accounting. Okay? Your books and your money. Trust me, this is my least favorite topic. I love to bring in money, but I don't like to figure out all the other stuff. Okay? The question, though, is do you know where your money is? And it's a really important question. Do you know how it got there? When was the last time you reconciled your books? Huh? Last tax season. That was my world for a long time. Trust me. Once a year. Bookkeeping, once a year. Woohoo! Week straight. Burning the midnight oil, right? Totally. Been there, done that. Got that t-shirt every year for like 4 years. Yeah, I mean, I've screwed up. You know, we're not supposed to do that. It happens, okay? And especially when you're starting out and you're trying to get all these things in place, the books are sometimes the last thing you want to think about, okay? But keeping good finance systems are the solution to systemization of your books, tracking your money, preparing for Uncle Sam. Your bookkeeping for the year should pretty much be done in October so you can plan, what if you need to spend more money so you don't have to pay so much tax? I mean, you know, you gotta know what you're going into before you get there. Stow away for later. Should you hire an accountant? We're going to talk about, in my studio in Bend, Creative Live came in and we did a whole interview with my new accountant. And he's an amazing guy, Cody Martin, and he talks all about what an accountant does for you versus a bookkeeper, for those of you who are not in that world. When should you hire an accountant? What should you look for in an accountant? How can an accountant help you, and how to weed the good ones from the bad? He talks about all that, so we'll do that interview, I think, in week 4, maybe? Anyway, branding, biggie. Branding, one of my favorites. This is your baby. Okay? Do you know who you are? Kind of. Do you own your artistic voice and style? Okay. Some don't. You can find it through a system, believe it or not. You can help yourself discover your style through a system. You can dig up your unique selling point through a system. You can uncover your business personality, create your visual collateral, communicate your ideals, and define your moral promise through a system, and then maintain a system so the brand keeps its allegiance to itself. Okay? By creating a systemized guide for your brand, for the visual and aesthetic components of your brand, you'll commit to consistency for your clients. But a brand is so much more than the visual. It's a personality of your business. Like, let's think about some business here for a second. I want to think of something that international people will know too. IKEA. IKEA is an international company, right? Furniture company. It has a personality, right? You walk into a store and you feel something when you go into IKEA, right? You feel broke. IKEA, every store looks the same, right? Every store visually entices you. Every store makes you think you can do it yourself, right? Every store has that element of, it's easy. Sometimes I'd just rather pay somebody $500 to put the darn thing together. But do you see my point? It's a very solid brand and feeling and personality when you go into that company. Whereas, let's look at it. Ethan Allen. American company, sorry for all you international folks. Ethan Allen is a high-end furniture store here in the United States. Totally different experience, right? Totally different brand. You get to sit down with a designer and she'll design your home for you and come up with, I mean, you're going to spend a lot of money there. IKEA, you got to put together yourself. Okay? But each brand has a personality, it has a visual component, and it has a moral promise. The purpose of the company, why they exist, why they do what they do, is deeply ingrained into their moral promise. Okay? IKEA promises it'll be cheap, efficient, and easy, especially since, you got to put it together, but hey, it'll be cheap and efficient, right? Ethan Allen, totally different. We do it all for you. We believe in the ultimate in furniture luxury, that the home should be a visual shrine to your style and high-end ownership, okay? Totally different brand. Marketing systems, promotions that feed that client cycle. How do you systemize that? This question I get all the time. I struggle with clients, with getting clients. I think we all do at one point or another, and what I've learned over the years is that clients come in cycles. Like, I'll have a dry spell. Like, I'm in the middle of a dry spell right now. I think we've shot 2 babies in September, which is totally low for us. Normally, we're doing like 10. And there's something and I've turned down a couple because of Creative Live, because I just don't have the time to do it. But I can feel a lull, which is odd, because September is usually a pretty good month, because it's when winter started 9 months ago, and everybody's inside. So usually August and September have a pretty decent number of babies with them. But this month is a little weird. But I used to panic. I used to be like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? What's happening? Now I've realized that it's just kind of a cyclical thing. There's times when there's lulls. You have to be prepared for those lulls, and you have to have good marketing campaigns in a system to attack those lulls when they do happen. But we talked about this client cycle briefly before. The client cycle, the new clients, the marketing gets new clients into the system. But then, of course, customer service, branding, experience, product, all that, keep them there with a good impression of your business, okay? Systemizing your marketing will get that snowball running down the hill. At first, you're going to have to push it. In the beginning, you're like getting the snowball together, all your stuff to actually create a marketing campaign. And then you got to like move it, and you know how it gets super heavy? When it's super heavy is right before it's about to start rolling down the hill by itself. So just know that. That's the time it's the hardest to push down the hill, okay? When you just are drained on marketing. But there is a moment in your business where your brand, your customer service, your product line, all these things will come together in beautiful, like, symbiotic relationship, and the snowball will begin to roll down the hill by itself. But remember, you have to have those other components in the circle in place. If one of those is messed up, you're going to keep pushing that snowball down the hill without it getting momentum on its own. So if you've been doing that for a while, you need to ask yourself if parts of your circle are broken. Usually, if you're not getting numbers, if you're not getting clients, if your marketing promotions are not working, something you are doing is incorrect. It's not the competition. It's not the cheaper person down the street. It's not the crazy clients who can't see the value in your work, okay? You are not doing something right in your business. So you need to take that 40,000 feet look at your business, become the entrepreneur, and go, what's wrong with me and my business? And attack it from a very logical, kind of unemotional standpoint. Try not to get so emotionally involved with your business that you want to blame everything else for the problems you have. That's the biggest issue I see in photographers, is they want to bitch about the competition. So-and-so down the street keeps copying me. So-and-so down the street just lowered the prices. I can't compete with that. How am I going to do that? I mean, and the list goes on and on and on. That's not the problem. The problem is you and your business. Something's going wrong, and you need to analyze where that is. Research. How can you know your market? How can you market without knowing your audience? Okay? Where do you live? Okay? Ask yourself that, first of all. Are you in Podunk Town, USA, hoity-toity Upper East End, or backward no-nameville? Okay? Where are you? What's the intelligence of your market? What kind of income do they have? Different photographers are going to charge different prices in different markets, but you have to maximize it, right? Because there is a point where you're not going to make any money. If you're not meeting your costs, you're not meeting certain parameters, there's no point in being in business because you're not going to be profitable, okay? How do you know what your market can bear? Well, first of all, you have to ask yourself, what do they care about? You need to figure out where you find information about them, and we're going to discuss that in the last week. How do you segment them? Strategize your demographic, okay? Define your demographic. Age, gender, race, income, household value. How many purchasing decisions have you made based on those demographics alone? A lot, right? And then there's psychographics, how you think, how you act, how you behave, what you believe in. Those are harder. They require that deep getting into your client's mindset and having empathy for who they are and what they do. But when you do all that, you own the market, because nobody else is going that far. Procedures. Every photography business can have step-by-step procedures for these processes, okay? And the people who care about it are your family and you, because you can detach from your business when you need to, take a day off. You are reliable to your customers. Your stress lowers. That consistency breeds confidence. Your income becomes predictable because you're getting your average sale at every single session. Then it's just a matter of getting the client numbers in the door. That's all I ever worry about these days, is the clients coming in. And is our marketing cycle working? Are the referrals happening, just kind of nudging the snowball down the hill? And when that happens, your business starts to grow. Guys, what this really comes down to is your little dream that you have is going to be real, a big reality, okay? And that's awesome. Awesome. You have any questions? Any worries? I think some of you are maybe going, oh my gosh, this is cray-cray, and I don't really know how I'm going to attack this. Let's maybe talk about that, or talk about where you have good systems in place already, where you think it's good. Yeah. Question over here.
Basically, my whole business is going to have to change. So that's my thing. Like, how do I start it all over again and keep clients and
Yes.
keep it going?
Well, as you go through this process, you're going to learn that you do have some systems. You may not realize it, but you do have some things you do consistently. I mean, there's got to be. You wouldn't be in business if you didn't. Yes, it seems overwhelming, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to change my entire business.
My main thing is, like, I want to do in-person sales, and in my area, it's not very big because there's so many photographers that basically everyone just wants digital. So I'm trying to get sales and build my business that way, and I don't know how to jump in and start it.
Tackle all of that. I'm so excited. That's one of the big things. Switching to in-person sales is a huge challenge, and it's scary, especially when no one else in the market is doing it. You know what I look at when I see that? No one else in the market is doing it. Yay! That means I get to own it. It's not a negative. You being the only person in your market who's going to do in-person sales, you just scored. And I'm going to show you why you scored and how to own it and take advantage of it. It's unique. You are in a position to be able to grow your brand to something so different and unique than everybody else. And that's awesome. I mean, you look at it as a negative. I look at it and go, sweet, let's attack it and do it, because we're about to make you a boatload of money. Okay? That's how I look at it, because no one else is doing it in your market. You have a unique selling point, an area of innovation, a strength that you do really well. You're going to provide an amazing service for your customers because you're going to basically help them through this entire process. It's going to allow you to become more high-end. It's going to allow you to charge more prices, provide a better relationship to your clients, and improve the overall impression of your brand. That's what business is all about. Do you see where I'm going? I mean, you just struck gold. So whenever you see limitations, ask yourself in your mind, is that really a limitation? Or could I own this and make it something incredible? Not always, of course, but chances are there's going to be times you're going to be like, oh my God, no one else is doing this. Maybe I should latch onto this. If nobody's doing something, grab it quickly. And that's what happened in my market. No one was exclusively niching in newborns. Believe it or not, no one was. Okay? So when I decided to take that over, I saw that and went, I really love babies. I really love newborns. I don't have to work weekends. It's steady, consistent income throughout the entire year. Own that. And I took everything else off my site and went babies only. Literally within 4 months, my business doubled. It was so weird. To this day, I'm not even sure I can fully explain it. But I think what it was is people saw that I was this is what I hear from my clients. They say, wow, you just do babies? You must be really good. Okay. Sure, believe that if you want. It's not true, but my point is, because I was able to niche so specially into something, they looked at me as being an ultimate expert in the field, which raised my brand, which elevated people's status of my business in their mind, which made me the person to go to when you have a baby in Bend. Top that off with good marketing, a hospital display, vendor partnerships, and keeping myself in the forefront of their minds. And now all of a sudden, other photographers are referring babies to me. Oh, you gotta go to Julia. She's a baby photographer. We don't touch that. They don't touch it anymore because I own the niche. There's wedding photographers all over town who are like, oh yeah, so-and-so had a baby, my client, I'm sending him to you. Awesome. Well, I send weddings to them because I don't touch weddings with a 10-foot pole. You people who do that, God bless you, because it's really hard. Weddings are like, yeah, anyway, whole other topic. I have so much respect for wedding photographers because they work their butts off. And yeah, but anyway, so there's this cross-referral thing going on. But when you own a market, when you own a niche like that, or a system, or a processes, or a customer service, just be careful, because the minute you do it and have success, all the other photographers are going to go, oh, we better do IPS. You want to be the leader. So yes, I know it's intimidating. I know it's hard. I know you're sitting here going, how am I going to convince my clients that this is the way they need to do it? They're not going to want to come in. They're ingrained to this pattern in their head that they think they're supposed to do. Well, we're just going to teach you how to sell it right, how to market it right, how to create it, how to make it a good thing and a service rather than an annoyance. And it's the same thing with you on-location photographers who don't have the ability to do IPS because you don't have a space. Go to their home. Molly is a great example of that. She goes to people's homes, plugs into their TV, and does IPS right there. And it's incredible service. I'm still trying to talk her into charging more for it because it is an exclusive service. But that's a way around and being unique. Okay? So there's always a door, another door open when a window closes, or however that works. There's always another window when the door closes. Always. There's always a way to figure it out and sell it. This is what marketers do. They make negatives into positives. They make things that aren't necessarily the greatest thing in the market, and they spin it. They are spin makers. Okay? So you need to learn how to be a spinster and spin things to your clients so that they look at it as an advantage, not a weakness. Okay? Did I answer your question? Okay. I kind of went off on a rant there. Sorry about that. Any other comments, questions, concerns, ideas about systems? Yeah.
I'm one of the lucky people.
You stand up.
I'm one of the lucky ones. I have an assistant, and she is amazing because she does all my bookkeeping and all my scheduling, and she is my lifeline. But we're having a problem with our system as far as when clients contact us. You said that you have your assistant do the initial phone calls. I'm the one that usually does the initial part, and then she kind of takes over from there, but we're kind of not syncing there. And I'm wondering, is it a bad thing for your assistant to be able to take over right from the get-go until the client meets with you? Or do you feel like there's a disconnect with your clients at that point?
Not at all. You're in the exact same position Belinda and I were in 10 months ago when she first started taking phone calls and wasn't into the booking phone call yet. But she was handling my scheduling, all that stuff, all the back end, and the clients were very much integrated with her. She's a huge part of my customer service now. And she started off that way. She'd greet clients, take their information, yada, yada. So I would do the booking, and then she would take over from there. That's where I was 10, 12 months ago. Okay. So, but now she is trained to handle all bookings. I don't ever answer the phone. She always answers the phone. Thank God. It's really nice when that happens. But my point is, she now handles all the booking, all the initial client inquiries and handling. She's great at customer service. And then when they come in usually that's they're meeting me for the first time when they come in for the session. My business is unique. With babies, we can't really do full in-person consultations. It's really hard for a newborn parent to get in that many times. So we've switched that system to be something where it's on the phone. She's basically doing the pre-consultation on the phone with them. And then when they come in for the first time for their session, they sit down with me, and that's when they usually meet me for the first time. So no, there's no disconnect. As a matter of fact, it kind of elevates the artist to a more exclusive thing. Like it makes the artist seem like the head of the company, the creative mind, the rock star of the business, for lack of a better word. I mean, I don't really know how to word it. But do you see what I'm saying? Like when someone gets to meet me for the first time in person and they get to talk to me as an artist, now my job there is to keep the conversation warm, very social. I need to make my client feel relaxed. So those are techniques that I need to learn and master, because when they see me for the first time, they better feel comfortable around me, because I'm going to have to make them feel very comfortable very quickly because I'm about to photograph them. So yes, your assistant can book you solid, no problem. I don't think there's any disconnect there. But when they come into me for the first time, your job is going to be even more elevated to warm them up, make them feel good and comfortable in a shorter period of time.
Hey everybody, I hope you're really enjoying Studio Systems, a business photography bootcamp with Julia Kelleher. My name is Drew Konzelman, and here at Creative Live, we believe in free education. So while we're streaming, you can watch it for free, but I also want to let you know that you can own this content. This is 5 weeks of phenomenal content for $199. So tell us what the content is.
Well, Drew, we're going to cover all sorts of things: branding and marketing solutions, sales and pricing techniques, customer service tactics and workflow systems, and so much more. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And we're not just spending a couple days or a couple hours on this content. We are spending weeks on it.
So Julia, there's a bunch of bonus materials if people upgrade to Anytime Access to this course. Tell us what those are.
There is. There's a 40% off coupon to our store at jewel-education.com, where we have a bunch of amazing business templates for photographers. You get the Studio Systems Workbook, which is 26 assignments, cheat sheets, and checklists. It's a 107-page guide that we're giving away free that'll help you get through this course efficiently and effectively. And of course, we're also doing the bonus video. My social media guru, Sarah Daly, who's awesome. I love her. She's doing a bonus video where we interview her and talk to her about social media strategy and tactics, as well as the Studio Systems Resource Guide. This is stuff I use every day, companies, products that I use every day in my studio. So you'll get that, as well as icing on the cake, the exclusive Q&A webinar, which takes place 30 days after boot camp actually ends. So we'll do that live webinar December 9th. So if you buy the class, of course, you're eligible for that. And then, of course, there's icing on the cake, and there's a cherry on top. If you purchase, we have a great opportunity for you, of course, that we'll be announcing October 4th at 9 a.m. Pacific. It's the big secret around here, and it's so exciting, and I cannot wait to reveal it to you, but you'll have to wait until October 14th at 9 a.m. Pacific.
That's it, folks. $199 while we're live. Don't miss out. Buy it now.
We're going to look at customer service from the outside perspective of the client, and we're going to look at customer service internally and how you create a system out of it. Okay, that makes sense? So the things, I want to address something first before we get really deep into the content. As I've been online and seeing people's questions and concerns and the Periscope chats and stuff like that, one of the biggest questions that I'm getting that is a big question is, I'm marketing like crazy, but no one is booking. What do I do? I've been online the last 12 hours or so, reading questions, reading people's concerns. And one of the biggest things I'm seeing, and I've gotten just heartbreaking emails from photographers around the world who are saying, I'm doing everything right. I'm marketing, I've got displays, I'm out there, I've got promotions, I'm a high-end studio, I'm priced correctly, but no one is booking. What do I do? And I'm sitting here going, oh God, that's a big answer. That's a big answer to a big question. There is no quick fix to this. You need to step back and take a 40,000-foot look at your business like we did yesterday, like I discussed yesterday. You need to zoom out, take yourself out of everything, and ask yourself if all the pieces of the puzzle are working together. Is your branding solid? Is your brand match your price? If your brand stinks and you're expensive, nobody's going to take a second look at you. The brand has to match the investment, okay? We're going to talk about branding, of course, in coming weeks. Is your marketing targeted, okay? Your marketing has to hit that ideal client. And if it's not working, then you need to take a second look at it and ask yourself if the marketing and promotions you're putting out there really are hitting that ideal client. And who is that ideal client? Make sure you know her inside, outside, backwards, upwards, down, forwards. I don't care. You want to put yourself into her shoes. Live her life. Understand her fully. And that's hard for photographers because most of us can't afford ourselves. I can't afford me, right? I don't live that high life. So I have to immerse myself in that world without truly being a part of it, which is challenging, okay? You need to join associations that have that type of target. You need to make friends with these people. You need to, start visiting prep schools and stuff like that and getting involved with the PTA. It's high-end schools to really understand what these mothers are about. And I'm talking just for, targeting family portraits and babies and high school seniors, that kind of thing. It's a whole different world for the commercial photographer because you have to start really understanding what a business is about and what their goals are and how a business needs photographic work to promote their products and what they're going to look for in that when it comes to a photographer. Understand your target client. Then ask yourself if your customer service is buzzworthy. Every company out there has customer service, right? It's become a standard. I mean, you have to treat your customers right. So if you don't have any customer service to begin with, then that's got to change. You at least have to get to the standard that most businesses in the world are first. But then to really differentiate yourself, because we talked about yesterday, customer service is 50% of your product, right? So that has to be even more unique and more incredible to stand out from the crowd. And then finally, is your product in demand? And you guys are not going to like what I'm going to say to you next. And I'm sorry to say that. But it's true, and I don't ever want to tell you something that's not honest. Your work, if it looks like the photographer down the street or everyone else in your market, is not in demand. There's too many people doing it in your market. If you don't stand out and make yourself unique and different than everyone else in your market, the consumer will demand the best price. That's the way consumers operate. If they see a product as a commodity, as something that can be produced anywhere, they're going to demand the lowest price. And then all of a sudden, what's happened? Remember yesterday we talked about AOI, area of innovation, price, quality, convenience. You're trying to be a quality business, but your product is not worthy of that. So what happens? You start competing on price. And when you compete on price in this industry, you fail. Because our costs are so high, equipment, overhead, all that, if we start competing on price, low, all of a sudden it just brings the bottom out of the industry, right? And that's what you all are facing in your markets right now. You're facing, oh my gosh, I'm doing everything right, and so down the street is shooting and burning for $200, and I can't compete with her. Why not? Because you're not any different to the consumer. You're not different. You think you're different. Oh, I'm high-end, I produce products, blah, 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 blah. But really, when it comes down to it, you put the two businesses side by side and the work next to one another. This one's in the consumer's mind. This one's just as good. I'll go with them. They're cheaper. That's what the consumer is saying in their mind, right? You do the same thing when you go out to Target and get a jar of lotion. Oh, the bottle, okay, those are the same ingredients, generic versus brand name. Oh, I'll just go with the cheaper one. It's true. So this is where photographers struggle. Differentiate. No company in the world will go out and try to sell thingamajigs without fully researching if thingamajigs are in demand in the market. They would not spend the time, they would not spend the money. They would rather put money forth to research to find out if thingamajigs are desired than just go, oh, this is a great product, we should just put it out in the market, see if it sells. What a waste of time. Now, am I saying research your market? Yes. Do I saying you have to put out focus groups and spend a bunch of money like these companies do? No, of course not. But you need to study your competition in your market. You need to see what they're doing. You need to look outside of your market for inspiration in your work and start creating stuff that nobody else is creating. This dawned on me about 3 years ago. And I realized if I don't start doing fine art work and composites and fantasy fairy tales with my work that nobody else is doing, nobody at the time was focusing on newborn mothers in fairy tale composite work. So that's what I started learning how to do, and it was agony. And I knew my Photoshop skills did not match what was in my head. I knew that I got all these visions of what I want to do in my head, and I'm open Photoshop, and I'm like, I can't do it. It was so frustrating. So I went out and I studied with Tom Rouse. I studied with Richard Sturdivant. I am going to mentor myself with Mark Bryant 2 weeks from now. I'm spending 4 days with him in Montana, and we're going to create art. Because I want to grow my skill level to a point at which no one else is doing. Now, do my clients buy that stuff? Hell no. I can't afford it. But it differentiates me in the market, and I love to do it. Okay? It makes my product in demand. If your work looks like everyone else's, you are not in demand. okay? And no product sells unless a market wants it. Right? And I know that is so hard to hear. And a lot of you are going, oh my God, this is the second day and I'm already depressed. Don't get depressed, okay? I know it's easier said than done, but knowledge is power. You have to look at it like that. Once you know what's wrong, you can fix it. If you don't know what's wrong, that's when you throw your hands up in frustration and you go, oh, this is not going to happen. I don't know what to do. That feeling of being lost and going down that dark black hole of nothingness. Don't go there. Knowledge is power. Educate yourself. Read books on business, The Pumpkin Plan, The E-Myth, all these fantastic books that are out there that teach you how to run a business. That's why there's MBAs. There are master's degrees in business. Business is hard, and it takes a lot of education. And this business is 80% business, guys. You shooting the camera is a teeny tiny part of it. And I know everybody wants to shoot and they want to like, oh, but you got to learn the business part of it. You got to. You will die if you don't, or you will continue to struggle and it will not be fun. And you want it to be fun, right? You want it to be fun. Your product has to be in demand. So we're going to talk about a huge chunk of that product today, which is customer service, okay? So let's get into it right away. Sorry for me to go on my little rabbit trail, but I think it was important to address. And I hope that by kind of stepping out and looking at this from 40,000 feet, you guys are going, okay. That's why yesterday I talked about the task manager, the entrepreneur, the task manager, and the detail guy. You guys are all so engrossed in being the detail guy, you can't see the forest for the trees. Step back. Be the entrepreneur and go, what's wrong? Where do I need to focus and push this? Then we start going back in and making systems to make it work, okay? What do you sell? Are you retail? No, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. You are not a retail industry. You do not have products that you purchase from a wholesale company that you then turn around and sell for a higher price. You may think you are, because it kind of seems, oh, yeah, well, I buy from the lab and then I turn around and sell it for a higher price. Yes. However, you produce something much more customized in between that. You're a service. You're not going to take a newborn picture of Susie and sell it to Joey's mom. Okay? It's not going to work. You are a service. Okay? So that means that service and the experience of what you do is 50% of your product line. I say 50%. Give or take. You know, I mean, my point in saying that is that it's a huge chunk of what you do. So, customer service involves how you treat them, how you care for them, whether or not you put them first, if you go above and beyond. Do you make it easy to be in business with you? Do you make it as easy as possible? Are you authentic with your customers? Are you you? Kind, wonderful, glorious you. Do you have integrity in your business? That's super important. And when I say integrity, I don't mean, are you trying to pull the wool over someone's eyes? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, do you come from a place of pureness? Do you come from a place of your heart is in it? You are truly authentic in what you do, and you absolutely care about your customers, and you love them. Your ideal client would be your best friend. Your ideal client you would care for as if they were your best friend. And honestly, I would say at least a dozen of my clients have become very, very dear friends. They come over, they have dinner with us, we go camping together, and they are still my clients. But that's what you want. You want the people who will be your ideal friend, person, relationship, whatever. You want those people to connect with you, and that's how deeply you want them to connect with you, okay? Who cares about customer service? Okay? Who cares? This is my husband and my boy when we went camping this summer, okay? Remember what we discussed yesterday, okay? Every time your client looks at your images, they will think of their experience. When I went on vacation and shot this, my husband and my son having a water fight, I look at that image and I'm immediately transported back to our trip to Crescent Lake with our 1971 31-foot restored Airstream that we've worked 3 years on to fix. Okay? I'm immediately transported to the fact that I want to do more to the Airstream and the cute white and red chairs I have just got to put out front and the campfire and the s'mores and how we've discovered the perfect recipe for getting Symphony dark chocolate because it's got the caramel in it, and you put that in a s'more and it tastes so good. Okay? But that single image alone takes me back to the experience of my camping trip. The exact same thing, even more so and more subconsciously so, occurs in your clients. They see the images that you shot of their family, if you shot of their senior, that you shot of their wedding, and they immediately are taken back to the experience. And the experience of you. Not just their wedding, but how you handled their wedding. So the question is, can we make customer service a system from the external part, from the client's perspective? So we're going to talk about what the client needs to get out of this to make the experience exemplary, okay? Everybody always asks me, well, just be nice to everybody. No, of course not. You can't just be nice to everybody. It's kind of like trying to get a date. You have to court them, and it's all about them, okay? Okay, so how many of you have been on a date in your life? Okay, good, 100%. If you were really young, I might say, okay, maybe you haven't been on a date before, but everybody's been on a date, right? Everybody's been, okay, ladies, how many of you have been picked up? Okay? Like somebody in a bar or some in the grocery store, some guy came up to you and like flirted with you and like wanted to take you out on a date. Yeah, it feels pretty good, doesn't it? Now, guys, Alex, our one man in the room who's just awesome. He's really nice, by the way. Have you ever been picked up? When I say that, I don't mean picked up in the trashy sense of the word. I mean picked up like somebody thought you were cute and flirted with you. He said, I don't know if my wife is watching. It's pretty cute. But yeah, it feels really good, even if your wife flirts with you. It feels really good when someone wants you. Do you know what I mean? When someone like looks at you and goes, you're a beautiful person, and I think you're great, and I want to know you more. Even just making a new girlfriend or guy friend. When someone cares about you and goes, oh my gosh, you're really interesting. I want to talk more to you. Let's go have coffee. It's a really good feeling, isn't it? I want you to marinate in that feeling a little bit, because you all have good friends, right? Human nature cannot survive without relationships. We all have good, near and dear people to our heart. It's our support system. There's no way we would survive without it, correct? Those people cherish us for who we are, and when we first began that relationship, it was magical. Whether it's just a simple friend or a lover, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, it doesn't matter. I want you to think about that in terms of your new clients and getting clients good customer service. You have to court them, okay? You make it all about them while at the same time getting what you need. Is it manipulation? Kind of, if you want to look at it negatively like that, sure. Am I manipulating my client? Yeah, a little bit. But it's in a good way. Because when this is all kind of set up front, there's this beautiful dance that occurs between the entire client relationship. And by the end of it, it ends in a fantastic order for you and a really happy client who's going to refer the snot out of you and send you all their pre-qualified clients, which is the ultimate goal, correct? That's the goal. So when you plant the seed of the sale by creating that relationship and making it all about them, but at the same time getting what you need out of it. So in other words, planning for a product, giving pricing, really putting everything up front, kind of getting that soft commitment to the product that we're going to be creating for them. All those kind of factors help them see what the end goal is. It's kind of like a contractual agreement without actually having a contract. It's kind of, we talk about this stuff, so we get it out in the open. It's all on the table. Okay? It's kind of like when you're dating someone, you get, oh, let's go out on a date, great. Oh, but you need to understand, I'm seeing other people. You know what I mean? I really want to hang out with you, but for now, I'm going to continue to see other people. You know, it's like kind of laying things on the table, but also being nice. And they can decide at that point whether they go, no, I want monogamy. This is too much money. We don't like it. Da, da, da. We're going to go away. Or they go, okay, I'm okay with that. Let's do it. Let's have a date. Cheesy analogy, but it is pretty valid. Basically, when you provide good customer service while at the same time getting what you need out of the relationship, you're planting the seed of the sale, and you're helping your bottom line, and you're providing good customer service. Win, 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 win. Okay? Customer service means you're creating a we serve you environment. Okay? And we're going to attack all of these things here. I just put a pregnant lady up there because, well, Belinda drew it. Belinda's my little artist. And so we're going to go over all these. And, you know, this applies to any business. So I just put a pregnant girl up there because I happen to deal with pregnant mummies. But anyway, look and feel of the space, look and feel of you, communication and language, the relational connection you have with your customer, and the little things, thinking ahead. So those are the different areas that we're going to attack here in the next 40 minutes or so, okay? So your space. The look and feel. Now, a lot of you don't have spaces, okay? I get that. We're going to talk about it in a minute. But if you do have a space, I don't care if it's your garage, if it's your living room, if it's a little 200 square foot room you rented in an office space, if it's a full-on studio with 20-foot ceilings and all the bells and whistles, okay? I don't care. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter how big or where your space is. What matters is how it looks and feels when you arrive and how you spin it. Branding and marketing, you're simply a spinster. Marketing people who are really good and branding folks who are really good take a problem or a limitation and turn it into a solution. Okay? They spin things. That's the whole point of marketing. So if you have a home or a smaller studio or someplace that you think has limitations, you need to take those limitations and go, I'm going to make this an advantage for my clients. I'm going to spin this. Or combine it with something else to make a better, bigger picture. So this is my space when we were in the midst of remodeling. Okay? This wall was here. We took it out. Okay? This is the front door. This wall right here is this one right here. Okay, so you can kind of get the feeling for it. And you guys are going to, on Thursday, we're doing a customer service from the point of view of the customer at my studio. So you'll get to see all this like as it looks now on Thursday. So I have a roll-up garage door here that's basically, in this picture, I'm standing right here, okay, looking back towards the thing. This is our sales room. We go up the stairs here, and you end up in our workspaces. So the ceiling's about 6 feet in some areas, 5 feet in some areas over here. And that's where we have our offices and where we sit and deal with day-to-day work stuff. Okay? When I moved in, the walls were lime green and sherbet orange, and the ceiling was like hot white, and it looked terrible because of all the pipes and fire extinguishers and all that good stuff, or fire sprinklers. These stairs, I have a love-hate relationship with these stairs. I spent 3 weeks on my hands and knees with powerful stripper pulling 40 years of carpet and carpet glue off the stairs. And now they are painted brown and white, kind of that, opposite checkerboard kind of thing, which is really cute. Our dressing room, so this is the sales room. You see it back there. Our dressing room and nursery is here, and then our production area is in the back where our kitchen and production area take place. So, and it was a boatload of work. 2 months straight every night from October 1st through December 9th, I think it was, somewhere around there, beginning of December. My husband and I were in here every day working on the space. I think we had so many fights I can't even count about it. You know how when you remodel anything, you argue? Yeah, my husband's a contractor, obviously construction, and so he knows how to do all this stuff. I am blessed. I'm very blessed to have that. I blew about 10 grand making this place look good. In exchange, I got dirt cheap rent for it. Market had just crashed. It was 2009. I started paying 45 cents a foot. And I have almost 2,000 feet. So I scored a deal, and I've kept the same deal for 6 years now. However, that's changing heavily, because when I moved in, like, the building was like 50% occupancy at best. No one was there. It was deserted. It was just everybody just drove by it. It was kind of it was a really good area of town. It was right across from the old mill, shopping center, high-end region. It's an old industrial building. It used to be a box factory. It was built in 1915. It's at its 100-year anniversary right now. And it used to be a factory where they made wood crates for packaging anything. Train tracks in the back, World War II. I mean, there's pictures in the Historical Museum of World War II and these women like making crates for all the military weapons that are going to be shipped off to war. So there's some interesting history with the building, and it's one of the few buildings in town that has soaring ceilings, which I wanted for my space. So I managed to negotiate a really good deal, and strictly by the stroke of luck, I have been able to keep it. And now, unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, they redid the whole parking lot. Everything's been upgraded. The new owners are awesome. They're really good people. But my rent is more than doubling. Yeah, so the nice thing is they're going to help me remodel a little bit, so that's exciting. So it's all good, and I expected it to happen, because right now, 45 cents a foot is darn cheap. I mean, we're talking cheap. And I scored, and that was one of the things that helped my business grow and why I was able to go into a space that was larger than I needed at the time, okay? So don't be afraid to negotiate if you're going to go into new space. And we're going to talk about, I believe it's in week 4, whether or not you should take a studio space, when is the right time to do that, okay? So back to customer service. Sorry, little rabbit trail again. The look and feel of the space is critical, and that's why we spent so much time, energy, and money making sure the brand survived. And the brand, like when you walked in, I wanted people to say, "Do you live here?" They all ask me that. "Do you live here?" "Oh, no. We just made it that way so that when you walk in, you understand what it means to put portraiture in your home and how you will be able to envision how it may look in your space." That's the goal, okay? So this is right when you walk in the front door. At the time, I just shot this with my iPhone a few weeks ago. Creative Live was coming in to do the tape segments. And so we have a little sign at the front that says, "Welcome to the studio," and we write the name of whoever's coming in. Yeah, my drill and camera are sitting there in the front. John's like, "Your drill is right there." That's because I just hung this. I had just hung this new display. And this is a product. It's called Word Walls. We do these, and this is Belinda's kids, by the way, her 2 babies. And it says, "Love you more, love you most." And we do these canvases, and basically, instead of just selling a gallery wrap canvas, we're adding something to it that makes it look like a decorated piece in the home. So we're making our product line unique. Unique, 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 different, different, different. No one's doing this in our market. It's expensive to do. I have printing capability, and so I print on my displays, and most photographers aren't willing to put in the effort, the time, and the money to put up good displays in their spaces. You have to show your clients what it looks like. You have to make them come in and go, "Oh, ooh, pretty, I want to do that." You guys know it. You walk in, I mean, girls especially, we're shoppers, right? Not all of us, but most of us like to shop. I walked into Macy's the other day and went clothes shopping, got myself a new dress, and I saw it and I went, "Ooh, pretty," because it was well merchandised and on the mannequin, and I saw it, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. I have to try that on." Okay? So think like you think when you're a customer. What makes you buy? It's the same thing with your clients, okay? So your space has to be comfortable. It has to be designed. I walk into spaces so much and I see mishmash. Oh, canvas there, print there. Just there's no rhyme or reason. There's no design. There's no purpose to the product. Oh, this is a pretty image, let's just throw it on the wall. No. Don't do that. If you design it and make it part of the space and like it really fits, your clients are going to go, "Oh, wow, that's amazing." And then that elevates the brand in their mind because they realize you know how to decorate and design. You know how to do it. So they're going to trust you to be the authority with the art. They're going to want your opinion on on things and situations like switching to IPS where you want to help your client pick the right images, they're going to know that you know what the heck you're doing. Okay? Cleanliness, of course, is critical. Readiness. Are you ready for them when they come in? And it should be all about them. When my clients walk in the front door, we zoom in on them. It's like vultures on a dead animal, you know? Whew, hi, how are you? You know, and really helping them see that everything has been set up for them. The nursery's ready, the boppy pillow is ready, everything, all they have to do is walk in, hand us the baby, and bam, they're done. That's it. And we literally take the baby out of their hands. Oh, he's so cute, let me have him. And we take him out and we handle everything. Are you ready for your client? Organization. Are things organized for the client? Not only, you know, your equipment and your gear and your props and all that, but is it organized enough that the client can find what they need? They're there with you for a little bit, right? Especially, you know, in my industry, my babies, my parents are sitting there for an hour or two. Is everything ready for them? Is there Netflix for the other kids to watch? Is there an extra iPad around? Are there products available? Can they look at the pricing guide? Are there magazines? Is there snacks and food? Is there a coffee maker? They're coming to you first thing in the morning, at least for me. So make sure you take care of them. Anticipate their needs. And then there's the connection. When they first come in, do you connect with them? Do you greet them right away? How are you handling that? Okay? How are you making sure they are happy? How are you making sure that they see beautiful things in your studio? I mean, that is a designed piece on the wall. You know how many times we took this thing down and up before I was happy with it? I think there's like 50 holes in my wall. Belinda's laughing back there. She's like, yeah, we had it as one design, and then we put it out. It didn't look right. It was too big. And then because I have an industrial space, these pipes absolutely drive me crazy, by the way. And one thing to fix in my space, we're actually going to redo it and put shiplap up and down the walls so that it's all covered with, I don't know if any of you know Joanna Gaines from HGTV. I love her style. I could pretty much adopt everything she does, and that would be my brand. So we're going to put shiplap over the walls, which will cover those pipes. But for now, the pipes are in the way of the display. So I had to like figure it out and reconfigure it. But I don't just put things on the wall. I go, okay, how can I tell a story here? How can I make it look three-dimensional and textured? How can I give it like a sculptural look on the wall to make my clients go, oh my God, those are images, but it looks like an art piece. It doesn't just look like photography on the wall. Mix and match frames, mix and match finishes, put shelves up, separate things from the wall, add sayings in, add the ampersand sign, and that little industrial look. Give everything a style and a look that's true to your brand. Guys, pretty much when my clients walk in, they know they're spending a boat ton of money. Yeah.
So is this true for all photographers or baby photographers, or is this like
Good question.
Yeah, for somebody that doesn't shoot babies?
I think it depends on your business model. Mm-hmm. My AOI is quality. Area of innovation, quality. If you're cheap or fast, it's going to change, right? There's going to be a difference. It's definitely going to be about, if you're cheap, if you're fast, it's definitely going to be about convenience and how quickly can someone get in and out and do this, right? If you're cheap, there's not going to be this kind of expectation with your client. You can choose whatever area of innovation you want. Totally open to you. You can't be all three. You can't be two. You've got to be one. You have to base it on your costs, though, and how much it takes to do business on a daily basis. Your operational costs factor in hugely, and your systems. If you don't have systems in place, being fast is going to be really hard. Okay? Most photographers want to innovate on quality. That's kind of why this applies to most people. Commercial photographers, anything you can do to show that you are efficient and high-end and quality is good. Commercial photographers can fudge with the AOIs, I think, a little bit better than a portrait photographer can. However, the cost of doing business with commercial work is incredible. Weddings, I think the same model applies. Very similar. So I kind of am showing you what's worked for me. I always say when I teach, take what you can from me. Not everything is going to resonate, and that's okay. You have to run a business on your strengths. The whole point of educating is to vomit all this stuff on you so you can pick the pieces out and figure out what you like. That's kind of gross. That didn't come out right. But do you see what I'm saying? There's so many talented people who have done this and been successful in different ways. There's lots of successful photographers out there who have not done it like this. They've done it completely differently. And that's why I think it's so hard for photographers, because they get confused. They're like, oh my gosh, so-and-so's telling me to do it this way, so-and-so's telling me to do it this way. Well, both work, right? Both work. You have to look at your own personality and go, what's going to work for me? What am I comfortable doing, selling, investing in, visualizing, branding? I mean, all that. You have to decide what's good for you. So take what I say and steal from it. You know what I mean? Steal what's useful to you. Hopefully that answers the question. What if you don't have a space? Big problem. Big limitation. How many of you actually have spaces, studio spaces? How many of you do not? Like, when I say do not, I mean you don't even have a house, a home, or anything. If you have a home, if you don't have a space anywhere, your home, nothing, raise your hand. Like you're working out of your car. Let's put it that way. Hey, there's a lot out there who do it, and they make it very successful. Okay? In that scenario, you have a competitive advantage. Okay? You provide an in-home service. We come to you. You can charge more for it, which just kills me because none of you do. You think you need to be cheaper because you don't have a studio. So not true. If a massage therapist comes to your house rather than you going to the spa, you pay up the wazoo nose for it. They got to haul their gear over there, set up in your space, figure out, plug in, and you get charged. It's like $300 an hour versus the $60 an hour massage I can get if I go down to the street to the spa. Okay? So look at other industries. If you want to be good at business, you need to look at other businesses. You need to study other industries and see how they're making it work and apply those things, steal those factors, and put them into your own business. Okay? It's true, it works, because the more diverse you are in the knowledge you gain, the more power you have to grow. Diversify your assets. How many times does a stockbroker tell you that? Diversify your assets. Diversify your knowledge. And knowledge is an asset in this industry. Okay? So if you don't have a space, you need to think about the location to which you travel. Are you going to someone's home? Are you meeting them at a coffee shop? Are you just meeting them on location? If it were me, I would go to their home first to make a really high-end, like top-notch customer service. I would say, we're going to meet you at the session at your home. We're going to look through your closets and go through a wardrobe so we put something really nice together, and then we're going to drive to the location. I would bring a picnic basket with me to the location because I would always do my sessions at sunset because I like the light, okay? I would bring a picnic basket, a bottle of wine. I would put on my pre-consultation what they love, you know, what kind of foods they love, what kind of wine they love, and I would bring it to them and a blanket and some entertainment for their kids, and I would let them have a picnic while we do their session. And then when we were done, I would leave them, make the order appointment, give them their information, all the educational materials. Then I would leave them to have this beautiful picnic on their own, and I would go off and obviously go back up the images. Okay? Am I charging $200 a session for that? Hell no. That's more like a $400 or $500 session. But why not? And why can't you sell on that? Oh my God, but the girl down the street is doing it so much cheaper. Ah! No, she's not, because she's not doing what you do. Okay? People don't always make buying decisions based on price. Matter of fact, they rarely do. The only time they're going to make buying decisions on price is if you look like everybody else. I mean, it's really that simple. It's not simple, but it's that simple. If you're different and you're providing something so unique and people want that, they're going to pay for it. It's just like the difference between Whole Foods and Food for Less or Grocery Outlet. Whole Foods provides an amazing experience, products that are unique, you can't find anywhere else, organic, the aisles are wide, you get through quickly. It's an amazing experience to go shop at Whole Foods, and you feel like $1 million when you walk out of there with all your organic groceries. Woohoo, I'm awesome. I'm going to feed my family rad. Okay? Grocery Outlet, on the other hand, floors are dirty, they don't carry everything, stores are not stocked all the time, but it's quick, dirty, and cheap. In and out fast, and you will have your food. It may not be the highest quality food in the world, and you feel kind of when you walk out of there, but it's cheap, and you can feed your family on a budget. If I have money, I don't go to Grocery Outlet. If I care about what I feed my family, I don't go to Grocery Outlet or whatever cheap market down the street. Whatever, you know, I'm not singling out Grocery Outlet, but if I care about that kind of thing, then I'm going to invest in Whole Foods, right? It's the same thing with you. But if Whole Foods looked like Grocery Outlet, do you think anybody would pay those prices? Hell no. Hell no. Okay? Sorry, rabbit trail again. If I was on location, I would make sure I'm dressed my brand and to the nines. Even if I'm shooting, make sure you look good. Okay? Make sure you're on time. Make sure you're communicating everything with your clients so there is no guesses. Studio Cloud now allows us to do text alerts. So we put in everybody's cell phone into our system, and 24 hours before their session or their ordering appointment, it says, don't forget your session tomorrow at such and such, and immediately sends them a text. If you have any questions, email us or call us. We'll be happy to talk things over with you before your session. Don't forget to read the preparation instructions and fill them out before you come. Little things like that add up. Okay? So what about you, the look and style of you? This is my son. Hopefully he won't watch this when he's like 20 years old and be like, Mom! Are you put together? Are you professional? Are you appropriate? And the reason I put this butt crack thing in here, because newborn photographers have this problem all the time. We're on our knees, on the beanbag. Oops! Okay, don't let that happen to you. It's inappropriate and it's unprofessional. Trust me, been there, done that. Okay? Be very careful in how you want, I mean, a client's going to see that and be like, it's just a little tiny detail that kind of just throws it down a notch a little bit. Okay? So make sure your personal style and what you're doing is appropriate. Simple things, but it's funny how, I mean, you're all laughing because you all know it's happened to you. Yeah. Verbal and body language, okay? This is my son's little best friend, Kenley, and they're absolutely in love with each other. We're convinced they're going to get married when they're older. Language, how are you connecting with your client? Do you care about them? Are you asking them about their lives and what they're doing? Are you courting them? Do you have that sincerity and authenticity? Are you open, relaxed, calm, and collected, or are you reactionary? When a client pushes back on you a little bit, oh, we really want to put this prop in, and you're sitting here going, in your head. Are you reactionary to that? Does your body language react to that? Does your facial expression react to that? Be aware, self-aware. You can say yes, you can say no, you know, but first say yes. And do it with a smile. You know, you want to make sure you're paying attention to that and that you're not, anything in your body language is not implying something that you don't mean. Communication, this is huge. Emails, phone calls, documents, timeliness, preparedness. Seat of the sale, are you thorough? Are you sending everything the client needs? We have a huge back-end client information site that's password protected that only clients can get into, and it tells them everything they need to know about the session. It has our pre-session questionnaire on there where they fill out and sign for our studio policies and liability release. Everything's electronic. It's very pretty and clean and organized, and they can find anything they need there. Directions to the studio, what to bring, how to prepare, all that good stuff. And that documentation goes out to them, and if we don't get that contract back before the session, we send it to them again and remind them, don't forget to send in your contract. We can't